Hey now! Hey world! Welcome to another episode of the Sodaron Show, or Sodaron Stream. Whatever we'll figure out and call it. Now, I was trying to get this stream going a little bit earlier, and I ran into some more technical problems, so I've just had problem after problem tonight. So about 4 or 5 hours of technical stuff, trying to figure out some sound settings and other settings in Windows. So here I am. I'm not complaining, but just bear with me. You'll have some technical problems. I can kind of see now why Riot has so many technical problems and pauses, because it seems like every day I start streaming, there's some problem that I run into and it pushes me back. But again, ironing this stuff out. After a while, I'm sure this will go away and be much smoother. So here we are again. Up on the platform that is the Sodaron stream. Here I am. Glad to have a platform where I can talk to everyone in the world if I want, and they can choose to view. So today, what I've cooked up for you today is today. What we have in store for today is another LCK match number 42, where we have KDF playing HLE, or Kwangdong Freaks versus Hanwha Life. So this should be a good series. You get my stuff going here. Don't need this screen now. Again, I'm kind of new to this. If this screen turns you off, just fast forward to the VOD review itself. I do this for a few minutes just to test my levels and stuff, and I do it before I stream. Before you interrupt me and say, well, why don't you do that before you start streaming Sodaron? It's because, hey now, Mia Grace 0614, first time chatter, hi. Just getting ready to start my stream here. Are you a League of Legends fan? I'm great. I'm great as always. Every time you see me, I'm always great. So thank you for showing up here. I don't know if you're interested in League of Legends or not, but what we're doing here today is a LCK VOD review of Hanwha Life vs. KDF. If you enjoy this or enjoy this type of content, go back. I did one yesterday where we watched Damwakia vs. Genji, a 2-game series. Let me go ahead and take my earbuds out, because that's fairly unprofessional of me. Okay. Get my earphones. And normally this is the section where I banter for about 30 minutes, but today I don't really have that much prepared. I've ran into so many technical things that I think I'm just going to go on into the HLE vs. KDF VOD review. So if you like this content, Mia, or tell your friends, if you could follow me at my Twitch channel. I'm trying to grow my Twitch channel right now. That's my main goal. I'm trying to get the Twitch affiliate. So I just need a few more followers. If you could follow me or tell your friends, or vice versa. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just suggesting. Maybe you're bored right now. So here we go. We've got Hanwha Life and a KDF.
Close matchup. We don't really know who's going to win, but as of the last couple of weeks, Summer Vod Esports has begun to separate themselves a bit from Kwangdong. Let's see if Kwangdong can.
Oh, I'm missing something here. I'm missing a tool that I need. Alright, getting my trusty epic pen up here.
To take a look at who Kwangdong actually.
Alright, so let me look at yesterday's draft just to remind us what went on yesterday. Game 1 of Damwakia versus Gen G. Saw Azir, Nidalee, Cassante, Senna, Ornn. Okay, this is game 2. Renekton, Lulu, Talia, Zeri, Sejuani. Game 1, we had Alistar, Talia, Gnar, Zeri, Sejuani, Tristana, Ivern. Oh, okay, that was a really good game and a reason to go back and watch my VOD review yesterday of Gen G versus Damwon Kiesi and Ivern from Canyon. So I'm not as talkative today. I've kind of ran out of steam a little bit, but the way the games run, there's so many of them, I gotta knock this out today, right? So here we go. Again, this is kind of a running series anyways, so if you like what you see, you can go back and I've been doing a lot of LCK VOD reviews the last 2 weeks, trying to do my favorite matches. I don't even have time right now to do all of them like I would like to do, so maybe when I get better at this, I get smoother, I get more confidence, I can maybe knock out 2 matches in one VOD review. But right now, just picking out the best game, or what I think may be the best game, which today is Hanwha Life versus KDF right here. So
it was a very close series, which proves that Hanwha Life Esports can match even the best.
Yeah, really pull the T1 on T1, which I think is definitely some karmic retribution.
Now KDF was, what, a week ago or 2 weeks ago, was the number 2 team in the LCK before World Cup, and T1 won, even though they played Gen G. I don't recall T1 playing Gen G, so maybe the way the tournament was set up, maybe T1 got lucky and won. So right now we're like, well, who's the top team in the LCK? Because Gen G went and lost to the number 2 LPL team.
She kind of feels that way.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Leading us to our point of the match, Zeka the Super Soldier with 3-0 record on Yone versus
2 mid laners with high AD champion proficiency. What will be the key card today? Zeka the Super Soldier with a 3-0 record on Yone versus Bulldog the Super Dog with a 6-0 record on Tristana. Just reading the points of the match here that the LCK is telling me. Get me hyped up and interested in this game a little bit. There we go.
Rejoins the LCK, so looking to climb the ranks.
Points
here
of the match.
Yeah, again, to reiterate,
I don't really pay attention to stats and get caught up in this stuff. I mean, some of these guys on there, Wolf, Barrel, did I see Gorilla? Haven't played for years in the LCK. But glad to see Delight on a like top 10 board of top supports, because he is a, how would I say it? I try to not pick favorites here, but he's known in the scene as one of the best supports in the world, or a top support out of the LCK. He was on Gen G and got moved to HLE now with Viper, who may be the best AD carry in the world. I've been pretty big on Viper. I was a big Griffin fan. I can say Viper may be the best AD in the world because I've seen him play on the Korean ladder for years, where he'll have multiple counts in the top 50 of challengers. So it's difficult enough to have one account, but Viper would have 2 or 3. So he's kept his skill up there for years, basically. So is he the best AD in the world? I don't know. I don't pick favorites. I guess you could go and look at stats and try to pick that. But his body of work shows that, yes, I would say he's one of the best ADs in the world, because, again, when you go and track his solo queue accounts, he's had multiple ones in the top challenger ladder, whereas you'll see some players that can't break into the top 50 of the challenger ladder or the top 100, where maybe a bro player or maybe like a Nongshim player, maybe a DRX player. So getting into that top, from what I've seen and watching the Korean ladder over the past like 10 years now, 8 years, thankfully when OP.GG came out, you could track the Korean ladder. Viper's been one that had multiple accounts. I mean, I may even be able to go look here just to back up some truth of what I'm saying. I like to go to tracking the pros, and then I can look up players. Just to spend a lot of time doing this. Okay, so he's got one account. This is a player that plays a lot of solo queue, even for somebody that's been playing for, let's see, was it 2018, 2019? I think it was 2018. Griffin was a challenger, LCK challenger team. So let me do my math here. I can't count in my head. 1, 2, 3, like 6, 7 years. 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So like 8 years roughly. He's been in the top. I mean, I don't know what his account ranking is. He used to have multiple ones though. Now there's less of a point to have. See, he's in the challenger, and there's some players you can watch in the Korean teams that can't get into the top 100 in challengers, or maybe they could if they would sit and grind some more, not putting them down, just looking at the body of work. So what is Viper is 204 wins to 142 losses. So Viper has a 60% win rate in challenger in Korea, which I would say is pretty ridiculous. And oh, he's ranked 2. See, so Viper is the number 2 person on the Korean ladder, and I've noticed there's a good bit of players that you see in the LCK that can't even break this top 50 or top 100. Very difficult. So a lot of people say this is the pinnacle of League of Legends right here, is if you can get into this top 100 of the Korean ladder, these are the top 100 players in the entire world. Now maybe instead it's the got the LPL super server over in China, but here in America I can't look at the stats. So us Americans, we assume this is the pinnacle here, this Korean ladder. There's a Nongshim player in the top 66. DRX players. There's Morgan, he's number 52, the bro top laner. But I think that it's very difficult to, Teddy's 24, very difficult to stay in this. There's Canyon, number 14, and be scrimming and playing all at the same time. So here's Viper back from China, and he's number 2 on the ladder. So I would say his mechanics are, I guess, superior to any other player's gonna play against. If you judge it from the amount of games played in Korean solo queue or any server that you're talking about, but most people consider the Korean server as the pinnacle of the best players. There, DRX's mid laner, who I think's an up and coming star. This shows it, because I've seen players in the past that were pros in Korea and they couldn't break this top 100 on the Korean ladder. Oh, well, I'm streaming. So here we've got Viper versus Leaper. Now, Leaper's the new bottom laner on KDF. So again, let me look at him. I like to go to tracking the pros. Leaper. what is Reaper's ranking? He's ranked number 95. So I'm just showing you the difference maybe from a rank 2 player on the Korean ladder versus a number 95. And I've seen Viper in the past have multiple accounts on here. Now that they've changed the leveling on the League of Legends system, you don't really need multiple accounts now. And that's something that I've got stuck in, is like I have 6 accounts and I need to just be playing on my main. So here's a game of Leaper's Ezreal. Just looking at his CS number. He's got perfect CS number. So I can't say anything bad about Leaper, judging from this right here, that he's got the 240 CS at 24 minutes. So he's at perfect CS. Very difficult to do, and it looks like the mid laner there was Viper that he was playing against. So Viper wasn't even playing AD carry. He was playing mid lane. Or Viper was playing mid lane in this game. So I'm just doing a little bit of scouting here for this match to see what might show up. Zeri, Ezreal, Ziggs is what it's looking like. Now Sion, now that's kind of odd. Leaper playing Sion top into a DRX player. Sejuani top. Oh no, Sejuani bottom. There's another funny thing. They're doing some funny stuff here over at KDF. This is a big reason why I'm a fan of CV Max. His coaching. Some people outside of his coaching dislike him and he's a jerk. I don't get caught up in that stuff. I'm a bit older for the scene, I would say. I guess I don't need to give my age. I'm a young 18. No. I'm a young 25. But it's some weird stuff going on there where you got the Sejuani Senna bottom lane. Ziggs bottom lane. So I'm just doing some scouting for this match before it starts. Well, let's look at old Blue again. Who's Viper? I think that's what it was. Viper. Blue. Yeah, it's just Blue. I don't know why. Let's see. Azir, Yone, bunch of Zeri, a good bit of Ezreal, a game of Senna. So judging from this, kind of shows what I may see. A game of Jhin, game of Misfortune, a lot of Ezreal, a lot of Zeri. So, interesting to see Leaper. Couple things here. This Sion. This Sejuani. Bottom lane in it. And this one. Zeri. Nautilus. Anything else? Game of Zaya. Okay. Interesting. Let's hear what the broadcast has to say about this matchup.
Gen Z, who have not lost a a single game.
Yeah.
So Viper, I mean, he's had games where he's played a lot of Ezreal, at least recently, so that might help bolster the numbers, but I don't even want to get
So I get caught up in some of those stats there too, where I'm like, is that every player? But it's just talking about all the bottom laners. I get confused by that. I'm like, are they talking about every player and every role? But no, they just show the role.
On Gen G, getting a high damage percentage, really hard because you've got Canyon on your team. You've got Chovy on your team.
But they should have high DPS.
Argument. I think I speak for... And it's going to be the top side of the map where Guangdong are going to have to make the big jump. Because as good as Peanut...
So here we go into the draft. Again, what am I looking at here? Okay, HLE is 6-2 and KDF is 5-3. So this is a very good match to me, and should be a good match. Now, we're trying to figure out in the LCK who is the number 1, 2, and 3 team that's going to go to Worlds. Gen G's already locked to Worlds, so in a perfect world, we'd like to see Gen G just kind of go away as LCK fans. Go away and forget. And not win the summer title since they've already got a world spot. And then we could have 4 teams go to worlds. I think I'm right. I've heard this, that you could get 4 because of the 3 spots you get at worlds, but Gen G's already locked in where they won MSI, so we could get 4 LCK teams at worlds, and I would just love that. So we could have Gen G, we could have T1, but T1's like number 5 right now, even though they won World Cup. So we could have Gen G, T1, and then it's either between HLE, KT, or Damwakia, or KDF. So there's a lot of teams in there. Gonna be a lot of really nice matches here coming up. So, but our fear is Gen G's gonna win the summer, and we're only gonna get 3 teams at Worlds. So, I think the consensus is T1, Gen G, and most people think Hanwha Life, even though I think KT is maybe trolling a bit, and they'll try harder once they get going in, just because the way they played at Worlds when they ran the gauntlet, and they showed that you don't really need to expend all of your energy going undefeated. You just slowly climb and work and grind, and then by the end of Worlds, you're prepared to win. So KT, which is basically like the most of the DRX roster from Worlds, Barrel, Deft, Pyosec, I think they're aware of this, where they're not using up their energy, or they're conserving their energy right now. So it's kind of a battle between HLE and KT for that last spot. That Gen G now could be in a world where T1 don't even go to Worlds. Yes, they won World Cup, but it's like there was a lot of weird things that went on in that tournament that T1 just outlasted Gen G, or outlasted the other teams. So I think some of that has to do with them being able to travel, and they've traveled the world so much together as that same roster. So it could be something where T1 don't even go to Worlds, and then I guess the fans would be upset because they won World Cup. So there's a lot of, we can't predict who's going to be at Worlds right now. And so these are a lot of exciting matches we get to watch and figure this out.
Valdez, that's already going to make the draft a little bit rough. We'll see what they end up with. Oh, love that. Yep. Because again, top...
Okay, so how I break this stuff down.
side, I think, is the biggest risk that you're running into as Humble Life. That's where most of the inconsistencies
Need to move this
have
up
taken
just a
place.
tiny
Yeah,
tish
not
there.
Peanut on Nidalee, and Coach Nidalee has been
So
great.
I go.
Yeah.
Uh-oh,
so
how'd
take
my
that off.
size get
Sejuani
bigger?
actually going to be banned away from Peanut, a very common B1 pick.
Oh, okay, so I
Okay.
want to say they banned Maokai, but then Tristana is open, and yeah.
You got to ban
So I go
Tristana.
1,
You want Maokai most likely.
2, 3,
We'll see.
4.
Naruto's
5.
open is a really high priority pick at the moment. But yeah, I think this is a no-brainer. But this is very expected, right? This is something we've seen coming.
2.
Those coasts just go towards his Viego, which is
That dot
his
can probably
other
be a little
standout
bit
pick.
bigger.
Yeah, I feel like you could run like a Viego way.
4.
It feels very Kwangdong Freaks.
It does.
You don't
Yeah, I
have
think
to
the
pick it up here. Maybe
bigger
you can
there
get that
looks a
wide
little
Nari
bit
we're talking about,
better.
especially now that Skarner's out of the map.
Learning stuff out here on the Sodaron
And
stream.
pick up a Senna early, and there's the Viego that we were talking about.
So one of the big benefits of
So
looking
1,
at Senna is that you force a pickup of the
2,
Nautilus, unless you
1.
want to give over the combo if you are Humble Life, which I think they'd
1,
rather avoid. This is a
1.
combination that has really dropped in priority over the course of...
Let me stop and take a look here. Senna first. Viego. So my first question is Viego a counter into Maokai? So I go to LOL Lytics here. Maokai, who has a 49% win rate right now. Ooh, Maokai is another one that can take the move speed, so that's important. Now, yesterday I said that there's only 2, Zyra, and who's the other one? I know I forgot, but it'll come back to me in a minute while I'm looking. So Viego. This says that Viego is a
This
counter
guy is
to...
driving way over the speed limit.
Whoa, what is that? Sorry about that. This says that Maokai wins against Viego 49% of the time, which is 1% higher against Viego than the average opponent. So Viego is a counter to Maokai. So... my notes here. Maokai, I'm kind of a jungler and support stream. So Maokai counter equal Viego. Okay. Oh. I'm sure I'll need that back up.
of the last couple of weeks. Obviously,
So Yon.
they gained notoriety for the fact that it beat
Okay, KDF banned the Rumble, Sejuani, Tristana. A lot of information I gotta digest here. HLE pick the Gnar. They don't want Renekton, they don't want Nidalee. I guess Kuz has a scary Nidalee, or Kuz is a good Nidalee. Riot just nerfed Nidalee and was saying that she's too strong at the highest level of play, so I guess they're saying, or the consensus is that Nidalee's the strongest jungler if you know how to play her. Alright.
Gen.G, and it's still one of the few combos that have done that throughout the year.
Let this draft digest a little bit more.
Completely obvious, I do think. I wonder if they want to go for something like the Jax. And this for Bulldog makes complete sense to me. This in the comp? I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I feel like you also don't have to pick it here. I mean, they might want to pick up their mid laner as soon as possible, but I don't think Humble Life Esports were going to ban Ziggs. Although, you know, with an 80 jungler, maybe they say, okay, well, Ziggs is rising in popularity. Either way, they're going to hover it.
Something
Maybe
here.
they put that idea in Humble, maybe Humble Life.
Completely few, obviously pretty notoriety
Okay.
for the fact that it beat Gen.G, and it's still one of the few combos that have done that throughout the year. Yeah, this is all completely obvious, I do think. I wonder if they want to go for something like the Jax. And this for Bulldog...
Okay, got the Ziggs.
This in the comp? I'm
I feel,
not so sure.
Yeah, I feel like you also don't have to pick it here. I mean, they might want to pick up their mid laner as soon as possible.
Cassante.
I don't think High Life Esports were going to ban Ziggs, although, you know, with an AD jungler, maybe they say, okay, we'll go rising in popularity. Either way, they're going to hover it. Maybe they put that idea in High Life Esports' mind. Perhaps draw out a...
Yeah, I want to look at a couple other things, so I'm not just throwing information out that sounds good. Cassante. I don't know the statistics of Renekton or Gnar. I think Renekton's... Cassante wins against Renekton 41% of the time. I need to be looking at Challenger, though. Cassante wins into Renekton 66% of the time. I think there's some players I see that play Renekton into Cassante, though. What about... Gnar? Gnar wins against Renekton 54% of the time. There. Gnar wins against Cassante 50% of the time. Okay.
Ban here.
Do you ban Braum here? Because if you ban Braum, I'm pretty sure you're going to get a Nautilus ban.
Kai'Sa ban.
I think you're going to be looking towards Hololive. Like they're extremely happy. You have Peanut on his comfort pick, which is going to bring some form
my
of
draft.
damage, and then you have Doran with one of the best blind picks, at least in the minds of the LCK, and then obviously Dudu self-counter picks because he plays for the team. That is something that I'm a little bit worried about. I do think that Dudu is a player that at his best is one of the best top laners in the LCK. I don't think he's consistently hit that level, but this is a rough matchup that you opt into where you're not going to have a ton of prio. And I really like it when Kwangdong tries to play.
Okay, so Senna.
They're going to ban the Ziggs themselves, which honestly makes sense looking at what Hanwha have right now, because...
Then a Ziggs ban. I guess Ziggs is, could be on Viper. Or, I don't really think Zeka's much of like a Ziggs that I can remember, so I'm guessing that ban's more at Viper in the bottom lane, as with Kai'Sa, now the Seraphine ban.
And they're looking for a mid laner here for Bulldog, so you could take a Leona.
Not sure why the Seraphine ban.
Senna Leona, but
yeah, then you go farming Senna.
Yes, she do
Viper
a lot of damage bottom lane. See her
They must have something crazy at the ready here, because if it's just going to be
a couple seasons ago, I remember Barrow recently playing Seraphine support in a game.
Destroyed by
well, that's my point, right?
Yeah.
It's good against the rest of the team.
Or
what they have something drafted here. Andale is a guy with a very eclectic champion pool.
Yeah.
The
I like the Seraphine ban.
3,
100%, because that's I think what they could have gone towards.
So Leona,
Very short range comp.
There it is.
HLE are taking Leona here. I'm guessing away because Leona isn't good into Gnar, which I talk about this my past streams. And then KDF pull out Scion, so it's looking like KDF think that they're really just, they're gonna have very hard lane matchups in this game. KDF have one of the better coaches in the LCK. So, again, talking about the ladder and the ranking and stuff like that, that's how you judge, or the players are judged if they're a better player, or, again, I don't really pick favorites, and I'm not really into labeling stuff like that. Just going on the esports seed and the consensus. I don't personally pick favorites. Not trying to put players down. So it's looking like KDF just, they're gonna get outlaned in every single matchup. Kuz should be able to stand toe to toe there with Peanut. But I don't know why the Scion, I mean, looked at the solo queue and saw Scion top, so this must have been something they were practicing. They did the Sejuani Seta. The Leona to keep KDF, even though they had Senna, so it really didn't matter. But I thought maybe the Leona was to take the Gnar, so you can lock Gnar down. But KDF had the Senna, so they weren't going to take the Leona in this situation. So just a real different draft here from KDF. My draft page. Okay. Well, that doesn't say game 1. $50 looks about good. Game 1. All right.
I think this is a big risk that they're taking.
So, I'm gonna digest this draft here.
So Scion, in theory, is the type of pick that if he can get to the point of the game where he can absorb a lot of the pressure, it's hard for the composition.
So the Scion, I guess, would be pretty well at
I guess so.
laning into Ezreal because of the shielding, and then you got the whatever his E is that knocks people away. And then you've got the area stun from his Q, and then you got Senna's root and her heal, so that does sound like a good idea as a bottom lane. I don't know how it'll do in the Viper and Delight.
For a fact that it was going to be... It's going to be really... Like, again, I do think that... Do you want to give him Kai'Sa instead?
Well, you could have banned Kai'Sa and Ezreal.
Yeah.
I'd take Viper Ziggs over either of those, but... It is what it is. CV Max, he's known to take risks, and maybe they feel like this is the risk they had to take. We'll see if it works out for them as we are almost ready to hop onto the Rift here for game number 1 of Hololive Esports up against the Guangdong Freaks.
All right, so I talk about vision and
the dancing has begun.
jungle pathing and stuff, so...
Are you ready for some fun?
I try to really take a good look at the vision setting up a game in the first couple minutes.
Have a good amount of faith that we're gonna enjoy ourselves here, Valdez.
Can't see the items here, so I was wanting to see what items are going on. I see Zeka's got a sweeper lens is one of the first things, and then I see the bottom lane here doesn't have a sweeper lens, so it's a double trinket ward. And then same thing over here on KDF. And then I see KDF players are just fanned out. They call this fanning it out. Across the river like that. Like where you're... It's like football. It's like man to man. Got your man there. Your man there. Your man there. Even though he's missing.
Was, as expected, a bit of a one-sided affair.
So I'm getting... Did Zeka get a ward down? That's what I'd like to know. I'm assuming he must have...
Are you ready for some?
Yeah, he had the trinket ward. Okay, so Zeka must have got a ward somewhere.
We're gonna enjoy ourselves here, Valdez, and we need it because last series was.
I don't see his ward on the map. I don't know why Zeka took the sweeping lens there. It tells me that
Yeah,
right?
the Bro and 9, yeah, I guess.
Zeka's gonna roam a lot in this game, probably up top to help Gnar get into Cassante, because this is
really step up.
what was it, 55% win
They
into
can find a way, because just to put it in perspective,
55%.
This guy was driving way
50%.
over the speed
Oh,
limit.
that's annoying.
Look at the damage.
I can't even do that. Gnar. I'll go to op.gg. I can't handle that. Gnar is weak against Cassante, 39%. Oh, Cassante has a 61% win rate. I can't do Analytics if it has pop-up ads that make the sound that loud. My listeners won't like that. Reload. 61%. So this is a really tough matchup for Doran into Dudu Cassante here. Even though some of you out there like to put players down and you go by hype and you're quick to, oh, well, Dudu's a bad player. But this shows me that HLE are saying this is a bad matchup for Doran here. So Zeka gets the sweeper lens, and I'm guessing he's going to be roaming top lane a lot. They're going to try to get the Void Grubs, both of them, to accelerate Gnar, because I figured out why. It took me a while. I thought they were first taking the Void Grubs for like XP bonus, but it just seemed like when the Void Grubs first came out, you'd get like almost level 6, like from 5 to 6, or 3/4 of a level from that. Now I think they've nerfed it, but so they're trying to really accelerate this top lane matchup. HLE, that is.
perspective. If you take the current positive game score of
And so HLE's bottom lane's down here.
DK just won, but at the start of the day,
Oh,
DK
there's Zeka with the sweeper now, trying to get the Raptor,
that's one
looking for a Raptor ward.
one. Like, and that's these are
And
some and it's
KDF's
the end of round
jungle.
1. It's not like we're taking, like how we do the graphic of like, oh man, DRX are like second because they
You look at the runes here. But I don't see the Ghost Poro zombie ward here again. I don't know if there's some advantage for this, maybe early game, why they don't take this. I still think that's one of the strongest things I've seen where Barrel runs the zombie ward or Ghost Poro on like a Leona with the sweeper lens and you get a free ward. Again, you got to know where the ward is though, or it does you no good, but these players at the highest levels and where they scrim each other, they should know. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's something that'll catch on later. Maybe there's something that the Cosmic Insight gives you a better bonus early or something, or your ult's down. Who knows? But I think that what Barrel runs is pretty strong, or OP from what I see, where he runs Zombie Poro or Ghost Poro here and then sweeps out the enemy vision and gets a free ward and gets gold.
only played. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. As a grasp from Lieber as well.
Just to put an end on that note, Chronicler, it's Genji.
Okay, what was
Zion bot.
wondering what this ward here was. Was that Bulldog's ward?
LCK debut. We call the AD raw. You want to find it?
Lieber as
What? Yeah.
Yeah, that. Oh,
It's
man.
difficult to spot these wards in the beginning, but it
Yeah.
These are some of our best teams.
basically will show the errors in the games.
It's not like we're
Of,
taking, how we do the graphic of like, oh man, DRX been one. Like, and then although I guess current, take either of these two teams, if they a team to really step up to Genji. I'll take either of these two teams if they can find a way.
Okay, that was Bulldog's word outside the
current positive game score.
river entrance on KDF's jungle,
Although I guess
bottom
DK was
jungle.
one, but at the start of the day, DK, Hanwha Life, and Kwangdong, and you add them up, that's...
Dorn can't afford to put his ward down, so he's gonna definitely need that the top lane.
And it's the end of round robin 1. It's not like we're taking, you know, like the, you know how we do the graphic of like, oh man, DRX are like second because they've only played. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at as a grasp.
So
Leaper as well.
they're Viper and Delight are probably gonna be overextended over this line the entire laning phase. So they're just asking to get ganked. Like it. This team comp that, or not team comp, but how HLE are playing right here is just all 3 lanes are going to be super pressured, and then cause confusion on KDF because every laner on KDF's going to want to gank from Kuz, and he's not going to be able to do that. Then he's going to have a frustrated game.
There's no way around it. It's a disaster. You're not going to be able to match. One thing that is important.
This is also where I've been talking about the AP jungle meta, and here's a game where we're breaking out of it. So I'm sure this will be a Leandri's Torment Maokai, so he's still AP jungler. But Doran's overextended. With the lane pressure up here is the bottom lane on HLE's pressuring over their side of the map onto the enemy side. I see there's a blue ward here that just spotted Kuz.
Did Leaper get a grasp stack there? Because I think eventually, I'm glad you raised it because I also wanted to talk about it. I think eventually Delight's just going to be out on the map, roaming around trying to make plays, and you're
Zeka gets a big trade on Bulldog.
So I really
So I'm thinking that Zeka's going to be roaming around the map a lot.
That was the right choice in this case.
Playing very aggressive.
Yeah, we're getting the word that there are no stacks yet. And I'm very curious to see how many he's going to get over the course of this game, because I don't think it's going to be very many. Obviously, it's just a rune choice. It's not going to change the way the entire game plays out, but...
I also just saw that Viper and Delight just went and got the Scuttle Crab, so that was a really neat play. That I don't think I've ever seen teams do that, where Viper and Delight went up here, got the Scuttle Crab, they're winning their bottom lane so hard. Viper's I'm really good at Ezreal, so maybe on my stream I'll start playing AD again, pull out Ezreal. This makes me want to play Ezreal now. One of my favorite champions, even though I don't like to pick favorites. So Peanut got the Scuttle Crab up here at the Void Grubs, and they also got the Scuttle Crab down here in the bottom side, so HLE have superior vision right now. Now that's a play I guess that CV Max thought should have came up with first, or something. I bet CV Max really liked that play. If he had a team where they could get both the Scuttle Crabs at the same time, that's the type of team I want.
It does make sense, but we'll have to see. Sign is one of those characters that gets so much free health anyway that I do think he can get away with a bit more, because eventually once you...
Dorn's handling himself up here very well into doo-doo, which is... again, it looks like Cassante has a pretty high win rate into Gnar, so... Cassante is a Gnar counter. I do see that KDF have a ward back here. So they're gonna know if they're getting ganked or not, where it doesn't really matter in this timing or position. And so we're around the time for the Void Grubs to spawn here at 5 minutes, and the Dragon at 6. So it looks like maybe HLE can... I would be impressed if they can pull off getting the Void Grubs and the Dragon. That's how I would want a team to play if I was coaching.
No,
in my mind.
I'd be happy. I mean, you can even argue that there are different parts of the game that they're better at. I think Zeka is actually
HLE made me smile there. I've never seen that one. Or at least it's been a while where I see a team take both Scuttle Crabs at the same time and the bottom lane's so far ahead that they can afford to go out of the laning phase, take the Scuttle Crab and come back and they're still winning their lane by 10 CS, 20 CS.
This lane down here is kind of going as you would expect.
It's not that bad.
Quantum Freak's bottom lane is not dying.
Delight goes over here and puts a control ward on the Dragon Pit.
But you're also giving the freest laning phase to
So
Ezreal.
HLE are prepped to take the Void Grubs and the Dragon at the same time. Now Peanut's a little bit behind. I think he should have been over here at 5 minutes. But he's starting up the Void Grubs now, which if you're HLE you desperately need for this matchup. Not so much in this game the way it's playing out, but you need the Void Grubs to help accelerate Gnar into Cassante because you're taking a bad matchup top lane.
It's always something that I'm a little bit worried about, particularly when it comes to...
Let me also stop this for just a second. Doran's teleport is down. Zeka's teleport is down. Viper's teleport is down. So they can't make a cross-map play right now to get both the Dragon and the Void Grubs. Because the next crab is up that KDF's going to get, so they don't have the vision over this anymore. Oh. Okay, Bulldog's teleport is down. Doodoo's teleport is down.
Always excelled in objective control, setting up very early on, which
looks
can
like
create some of those engage issues. I think there's also a really big role for Cuz here, because the actual damage in this comp...
At some point I didn't see, but Zeka swapped back to the Trinket Ward.
Right, like both...
I was going to say, because Zeka just put a ward there. So there's a lot of vision stuff going on here with HLE in this game.
Really big damage threats, and then you have tanks outside of that.
Well,
Hey!
And
is that his first?
He got one!
I'm a jungle main, and Dandy's one of the players that really got me into League of Legends and being a hardcore fan, so I have to I don't know, I like to watch HLE is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's not even the players, like Dandy is a coach.
Pretty sure it is.
His
Value,
first
baby.
grasp stack. Yeah, I mean, as long as the light is here and he's making plays, then yes,
It was his
Leaper will
first.
get grasp stacks. That's true. We did say that. So yeah.
I don't know, I'm kind of running a low energy one tonight, but I'm here
Still happening.
I'm here working, guys, so you can't say I didn't.
Here for Bulldog.
I'm learning that it's when you're streaming, you got to be here every day. It doesn't. You're not gonna get an amazing. Or you're not gonna catch lightning in a bottle.
At the very last second,
Yeah.
because obviously if you mistime that, then
You're not gonna catch lightning in a bottle in one amazing video. It's more about being there every day.
looking for an angle.
Yeah, he's
So I apologize. Maybe I'm a little bit out of steam, or
Should be fine.
after this game I can get a cup of coffee or something. I don't drink coffee, but tea. I mean,
Much mana.
misses a Q there, and Doran's just a little bit too fast. So just experiencing the Cassante versus Gnar
and get a little bit more energy. I've seen what was going on.
Andel has cleanse.
So HLE got the Void
Should be
Grubs.
a dragon here for Guangdong, because they have tempo because of the TP that Leaper
Go back. If you didn't watch, I thought a good VOD review of T1 versus HLE, which that was 3 games. So that was a very good series, but we saw Viper's Ezreal in that series. So I'm just looking at the warding here. I pay close attention to the warding. That's where you make plays around the map and catch people out and punish them where they shouldn't be when they don't have a teammate or they don't have a flash down. So like Leaper's flash is down. His teleport is down. Bulldog's teleport is down. Bulldog's ult is down. Doodoo's teleport is down. The Light's Ignite is down. Viper's TP is down. Zeka's TP. Zeka's ult is down. Doran's TP is down. Why am I doing this? Well, I feel like a storm is brewing to take this dragon out. And KDF kind of failed to take this out. So I don't know if it was because of the Scion Senna and they need a lot of farm, or this is the first time we're seeing Scion Senna, so I don't know what to tell you about this. I'm watching a new experiment unfold as I watch. Again, Zeka had the sweeper lens at one point and just traded it back for the trinket ward. I think it was because they were worried about getting the top lane accelerated. And here we see Dorn is ahead of Doodoo's Cassante, which Cassante is, I told the statistics earlier, but he's a counter apparently to Gnar, or he's good into Gnar.
Leaper has, whereas Viper doesn't. But the window quickly closing. Looks instead they're going to take a bolt or a recall here for Andale. Leaper now with Bombies should have a lot easier time, and this should free up Andale in theory.
See Andale getting the swift boots on Senna.
A whole lot has happened yet. It's very rude there from Zeka.
So Zeka looks like he's just bullying Bulldog.
But he still has to back now. Probably a cannon wave. As Delight, he's going to give Leaper a grasp stack.
Now again, I talked about it earlier and showed you, if you're just now joining me watching, but I don't like to put players down. I don't like to say like this player is better than that player. If I say something like that, I just mean statistically looking at the solo queue. So Viper, for example, has been a player that's been, and I've heard that there's like a hump, like getting over the top 50 and higher in the LCK solo queue ladder. And Viper's a player that's been there every year that he's played. Canyon's one that's been there every year that he plays. Showmaker has been one. Now, I didn't see what his accounts on the when I was looking through. But that's what I've judged by, or players, and it's because of the extra time they put into playing the solo queue on the ladder after scrimming and everything. It doesn't necessarily mean a player's better or not. It's just the body of work we're looking at.
But that's fine, as Leaper's in a little
So what I'm trying to say here is Doran is winning a bad matchup into Doodoo. Now, I'm not saying that Doodoo's a bad player. I'm not saying Doran is better than Doodoo. I'm just saying in this matchup, Doran is winning a bad matchup into Doodoo's Cassante in this game. So that's all I'm saying.
Make that a lot of trouble, as you know, they've got CC for days
So
on the side of Homolek.
got some disengage from Peanut.
They've got the Leona, they
With
have
the Mahakai ult.
Find the Scion in the river, and they press some buttons on him, and he dies.
Complete mystery there.
If you're playing solo queue, you don't always have to use the ult for an engage. You can use your ults as a disengage to save your opponent's or your teammate's life. So just keep that in mind.
Complete mystery there of the early map state by Kwangdong. Leaper obviously felt very.
Viper's a player I've watched a lot of solo queue stream and watching, and
was just on the back. Can't really afford to be that far up, especially on the live. They're really happy to just pull the trigger on the.
Well, just solo queue and the. Sorry, I'm getting caught up in the games. I've just studied a lot of Viper and his streams. I was gonna say Pro View, That was the word I was looking for, was pro view, and it wouldn't come into my mind. His Viper hits Doo-Doo and does some damage on him. Doran's getting ahead of this Cassante up top. So that's kind of bad for KDF.
Really, this is everyone basically on one
And
of their best champions.
Peanut's up here doing what he should do, and he's working. See how he's working with Delight though. Peanut did not make this play by himself, so don't do this in solo queue. You need to have your support, like especially getting 10 minutes into the game. Like the first couple clears of a jungle is okay to kind of peek in and see if you can get some enemy farm camps. But you need warding and your flash. But once you start getting to like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, when you're close to time to take a dragon or the Rift Herald or the Void Grubs, you need to do what Peanut and Delight are doing right here, where they're working together. And Delight's up over here putting down some vision, so Peanut is perfectly safe. I don't know if HLE have any vision on or HLE. Yeah, HLE, if they have any vision on Viego or not. But yes, and since they know he's not there, he must be over here. I doubt he's down in here. The way the lanes are playing is what I'm saying, because this lane in the bottom's winning. It's 92 CS to 80 CS. Zeka seems to be bullying Bulldog. 96 CS to 78 CS. Kuz is staying even with Mayokai or Peanut. Looking at these matchups. A lot of information and misinformation in this game, so I'm trying to help teach. So just looking at the matchups, I saw today they're nerfing the Warmogs. Riot says they don't like Warmogs, like their words, they don't like Warmogs on supports as a first item. Kind of a crazy gaming company that they want to tell you what you have to do to play their game. They want you to play their game, but their way. Support champions are purchasing Warmogs first and hitting the bonus health threshold through a combination of the support quest item. Oh, I guess maybe that's OP. I didn't notice. There's a threshold of 200 hit points for a support. Scaling health stat shard and sometimes overgrowth. The 1000 Warmogs HP plus the 200 support quest HP plus runes is meeting the 1300 bonus health requirement a little too easily, and we'd rather supports weren't rushing this item and unlocking its passive in this way. So Riot's not happy with the Warmogs being rushed first. I guess that explains why. There's a health threshold. Okay. Oh, that's not what. I don't need that. So Cassante wins supposedly 61% of the time. This is Emerald Plus. Let's do Challenger. We are on a new patch though. Like the game just got patched, so the data is not good. Now that I think about it. So that's not going to matter.
Everyone basically on one of, if not their best champions. I think Delight's Rakan is better.
I was going to say, I thought that it was the other way around or something.
Like Doran, I feel like
I'm going by the patch information that Riot's giving me.
This guy,
Gnar. Patch 14.4. Gnar. It's only 7 games though. So that's on patch 14.14. We're on patch 14.13, I think, here on the LCK, so that throws that data away.
Never matters what Doran is playing, for my opinion. Of
Yeah, he's a bit of a wild card.
He's
Kind of,
in so many ways.
Sometimes he's great. Like, he's absolutely dunking on this lane. I feel like there were.
I was gonna say, I thought that at one time then it was Gnar was good into Cassante, or Renekton was good into Cassante, but
Do you ever trust Doran?
just realized the patch was changed today, so it changes all that data now. So gotta wait probably a few weeks of some play before the data makes more sense.
The 2022 summer debate.
Yeah.
No, wait, it was 2023 spring. Because it was.
So now, like on the next series, I can't really trust the data unless maybe there's a way you can go back and look at the patch before. I'm new to this. Yeah, okay. It'll show patch 14.13. Okay. Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought Gnar was better in this matchup. Okay, so I looked at the wrong data. I'm learning how to use these sites and stuff. Okay, so I thought my data was wrong at the beginning of the draft here, so let me look. That was why I was having trouble at the beginning of this VOD review and stream. What was... Okay, got the draft here, so go back and relook at this draft. Gnar wins 60% of the time into Cassante. So that's what I was thinking. It's like, Doran's not that good of a player that he's just crushing doo-doo's Cassante. That's a bad matchup. It's just not making any sense. Okay, so Viego into Maokai. I'm new to this streaming. I gotta remember when Riot puts a patch out that changes the data and the... Also, yeah, Challenger, Global. Let's look at just Korea. Who was I looking for again? Maokai. Well, where's Maokai? Counter. Viego. Maokai wins against Viego 40% of the time. So Viego is a good Maokai counter. Okay, what else was in there? Yone into Azir. Now we got the data fine-tuned. Okay, Azir. Oh. Yone wins 63% of the time into Azir. Okay. Making more sense now.
Getting it.
Yeah.
Because that was the
That's
one they
right.
weren't supposed to win, where they were heavy underdogs, then ended up continuing what we now know to be an absolutely insane streak.
As
winning the
Doran
other
was
day, Valdez.
just crushing it into Cassante, even though it's a
I don't know if the streak's
good
gonna get
matchup.
this time around. T1
Yeah.
got close,
They did.
but
And,
they didn't win.
DK also almost had
Okay, so all of, except for Viper of HLE, is up here for the Void Grubs. Delight is back here Trying to make some type of flank play, but he gets caught out by this ward that KDF have up in the, what will we call this? Topside jungle of blue. And they also have a ward on the Void Grub pit. Now, let's look and see. Leaper's teleport is down. Zeka has his ult. Zeka's teleport is down. Viper can make a teleport play. This is one reason I like Ezreal a lot, is I'm a big fan of teleport, and you can run teleport on Ezreal. I don't know if it's just this matchup. He was playing into like Genji or T1 or 8 or Damwall. I don't know, maybe he'd be running Cleanse, but let's look. Well, why not? Let's look at old Blue here. Blue. No, he's not running, and he's running Conqueror too, and Solo Q's been running Press the Attack. But yeah, he doesn't run the teleport. I liked Ezreal because I could run teleport on him and make plays around the map.
That win against Shinji. Let's take a look at this fight here, though.
I was looking to see, is there anything that anything that KDF can do here? Azir is down here shoving this wave out. So he's late for the party to make some type of engage here, I'm guessing, on Handwall Life. And Leaper's over here overextended, pushing the bottom wave. And his teleport is down. So I think he, see if he got out rotated here. When did,
I don't know. I don't know if this streak,
because Viper has his teleport, he can teleport up here.
They did.
But they didn't win.
DK also almost had that win against Shinji. Let's take a look at this fight here, though. As Quantum Freaks, they do want to go in. They're
There's
be happy that Leona missed, but
Doran gets a nice Mega Gnar ult on top of Andil there. And the Maokai ult on Kuz.
From Quantum Freaks will immediately get punished as Summer Vod Esports. Doran's like, yep, I'm ready.
So
I will press my R button.
KDF really couldn't do anything.
Actually, so well timed there from Doran.
Think they knew about the Ezreal teleport, so, and Sion was already bottom lane. Maybe that was something where Sion should have went to the Void Grubs.
How dare you suggest?
I mean, he's Meganar. Why are they here?
I don't know. I think his timing is great. Then Ondale there, the flash, the heal or the cleanse rather, but it doesn't matter. Zeka has the extension, and Bulldog is also there, like autoing stuff. But he also, like, realistically, I don't really think it matters. Even if he did go for something, is Dudu. That's again Meganar.
Oh, that no.
On that cost, Dudu's flash.
Okay.
Speaking of the wild card, Dudu.
So Dudu's flash and teleport is down.
So first of all, credit to Dudu. Dusante strikes again. I thought he was going to hit Mega, but Dudu knows the timer better than I do, clearly.
I noticed KDF have a nice little ward over here over this wall in the bottom lane.
They can make a TV show about it. That's so dope.
Oh man, wins the early Herald scuffle single-handedly, and then
Viper just got his Trinity Force. His ult is about to come back up. Viper also teleports here into the mid lane.
And I'm sure Dudu did a good job to set that one up. We didn't get a look at the beginning of the trade, so I'm sure we will now.
This is where this Sion might really have problems.
Yeah, just clips
well
at the end with the W there. Then it's pretty straightforward from there.
Got him.
I really like that flash because specifically it limits the time which Doran had to transform. If he doesn't flash and he just goes.
So we've got a Gnar into Sion, and we've got Senna roaming back down here. Guessing
Remember when you were
maybe
talking
catch
about
Doran out.
Zion
He's about to go
laning.
Meganar though. So
Well, he's fine. Like, he's not...
his
He's
ultimate
Not
up.
getting grasp.
At this point in the game, like, he's not going to suffer, but as we're saying...
So again, we got a new bottom lane thing here, which is Sion, Senna. May have seen this before.
As a, take a
Think-
look at the goal here.
I think it's the first time I've seen it.
Insane, really.
I like this Senna opportunities you get.
So certainly helps him out in the gold department.
Fan of the Senna.
Zeka doing very
It
well.
allows you to play stuff like Ornn or Nautilus or Tom Kinch or Sion or whatever you can dream up. And KDF did do something a little different here because they would normally, you'd see like T1 play
That's
the Senna on the AD, but for some reason Leaper is playing the carry.
We have the second Drake, would be big for Kwangdong. Individual Ocean, still relatively early, so not too bad. Can they actually win a team fight though? 'Cause
Peanuts
so far,
got his Leandries and Giants belt.
I know you want to talk about the team.
Who's
fight, but
has
more
his
importantly
first
than
item?
that, he has 4 stacks of grasp.
Sunder Strike or whatever it's
Going into
called.
this team
First.
well, you know, he'll get more as the game goes on.
So it's 15 minutes in the game where you should have 150 CS.
That would've been good.
So it looks like Common Life Esports do want to make a play.
And Wall's down here taking the dragon. KDF
Just letting them have
got the
it.
first
Looks like they wanna
dragon.
go for the Rift Herald instead. Big rotation.
Again, I talk about this. There's a formula where you can close out a game in like 25, 30 minutes. If you get the 4 dragons, you get the Baron buff, close it out.
Zeka in. It's really hard to lock down Zeka. It's Cloud, so look at that. That's
Yeah.
one.
Atlas subs in, Cloud Soul subs in. That's the way it works.
I like that.
And we haven't had a Cloud Soul yet today, but, you know, better late than never. And Quantum Freaks didn't actually go for the Rift Herald.
They're
They
not.
just said we can't, and now Hamaleif will get
And Wall get the Rift Herald.
Well, they tried
And
to
got
do
the dragon.
on the grubs, and then they died. So they're like, well, that didn't work out for us. Let's not do things.
I mean, the Sion's not doing bad in this game. 177 CS to...
Because your top lane was shoved in. So
He's behind 40 CS. Give or take, the Senna's taken some of it away. Of course, Delight's got some farm there too for just a support. But Maokai's ahead of the Viego.
You know, catches inside and then try to use the fact that it's a relatively less relevant dragon individually, so we can give up 2 Drakes, get to the point where Azir hits like 2 free items, get to the point where Andil's relevant, but you're playing into Hanwha. Of all the teams that I wouldn't want to like Genji's obviously.
Zeka teleports bottom here, and the dragon's not up till another 3 minutes.
Waiting out their time and then trusting Viper's team fighting. Zeka's control.
The Scion's rotated up to the middle. I'm sure Azir's gonna come down now because of the Zeka
You
teleport.
didn't mention Doran, I noticed.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Bulldog's dead. Well,
Ooh.
let's see. I mean, that's a nice divide. No, he's playing against Yone.
Who was on a ward there?
And here
The light's up here sweeping out. This vision. KDF have a ward inside the dragon pit.
Maokai.
Okay, so there's a control ward in here in this brush. Tri-brush.
The lights engages. You name it, Valdez.
So KDF did not see them.
And trusting Viper's team fighting. Zeka's control. Peanut
The lights
on
engages.
Maokai. The
Yeah.
lights engages. You name it, Valdez.
So it looks like Bulldog and Kuz just get caught out here. Again, where I talk about this line in the game. There's like an imaginary line that splits the game in half, the map in half. I guess it could run that way too if you really want to think about it. But the way I look at the game, but like this over here is KDF's part of the map, and this is KDF's map. So this is all Red's map. And then this is Hanwall's map. Blue side's part of the map. So this is how I view this game. And so if I'm red and I step over this and I don't have a teammate around me or a flash or a ward, I'm going to get caught out. I mean, unless I see in my mini map where all 5 players are, but if I look on my mini map and it's dark and I don't see any of the players or I'm outnumbered, I'm probably going to get taken down. Or that's what I assume. So it's not good to overextend over this. So that's what happens in this situation where HLE and Delight and Zeka are overextended over into KDF's territory here. But they have Peanut down over here. And so here's 2 KDF members, red team. Looks like they're just going to get caught out and outnumbered. Now Bulldog has his flash. Kuz has his flash.
Hey, you didn't mention Doran, I noticed. Yeah, Bulldog's dead. Well, let's see. I mean, that's a nice divide. No, he's playing against Yone.
So they get one person. HLE, that is.
Viper trying to go 1v2.
And they also got Azir's ult out.
Does get a bit of
So I
damage
see
against
Scions. They just got Scions ult out as well.
Such a good flank there. Our life ahead of the curve.
And it looks like that cost Peanut his flash.
They're still hiding on Bush.
And
they
his
used
ult.
a lot of ultimates, but
Oh,
god.
Their Final Freaks are like, okay, we're running. And this means that Zeka gets not only another kill, but also another free turret for himself. He got one in the top lane. That was the first turret. Blood.
So they're HLE shoving the Void Grubs in on this middle turret.
Doesn't get the knock-up leaper, but Delight's
Rift
still in
Herald.
trouble. As they're flashing on him, they do take him down. Dudu absorbs
See
the
what
damage
happens
on
here.
the bottom side, and now Doran has to hop on Delight. Thankfully, he doesn't get the knock-up.
Some overextension.
And now we're diving underneath this turret. I don't know about this one, Delight. Thankfully, he doesn't get the knock-up leaper, but Delight.
It looked like Zeka was kind of late for something.
Take him down. Dudu absorbs a bunch of damage on the bottom side, and now Doran has to hop away from them. So Final Freaks, they finally find a pick here in mid.
I'm pretty sure what happened there was Delight just wanted to walk up to Fred, and then he got hit by the Ando root. It died on a minion.
So like a 4K gold lead right now for HLE.
Doran, Soul Viper just take over a game. He's like, I can do that as minion R.
What do I gotta do to get
28K gold to 30.
That's probably what he said.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Doran.
33K gold.
Really nicely done here by the team of.
So I saw Peanuts flash and ult.
Completely catch them off guard. They know Peanuts there. They don't know the rest of the team is there. And then, yeah, look at this. It's the Might.
I mean, he was going in anyway.
Well, yeah, he could have backed off before that.
Yeah.
But the moment the Might got rooted, probably want to get out before that. Dudu also, importantly, keeps away a couple of the other members that wanted to try and join in on the fight. It's a nice catch. It's a kill. Going over to, I think Cuz got that one. And that's something. That alone is not going to be enough, though. These turrets have fallen. Look at the health on the Home Alive turrets. They're great.
Yeah.
The structural integrity is off the charts, Valdez.
I guess I don't really talk about turrets as much as I should, or taking down the turrets if you're a solo queue player. But HLE's up in here just taking away the jungle from KDF, the blue buff, the Gromp. Just slowly choking out KDF. Which if you're a jungler or you want to try to take the enemy's farm at every opportunity you have, just shutting them out, slowly choking them out.
There's so much CC that Leaper, even though he has a decent amount of farm, he's alone and he's caught out.
So Viper looks like he's doing tons of damage here with his Trinity Force and Manamune.
You know, the worst part of this is for Kwangdong, it's like I don't even feel like they're making super egregious mistakes. They're just getting gapped in every single role. Like, Zeka hard won mid in a matchup where Bulldog got counterpicked. So that's a bit of a disaster.
I mean, I kind of see this comp as an experiment for KDF, so I don't really expect much that KDF might win this game. Seeing how it's Sin a Scion and it's on the AD carry, so it's something I've not seen.
That's kind of the direction that you want to go in if you really want to get maximum value out of this, and instead,
Yeah.
See Doran teleporting mid here. I guess they're gonna make some type of play.
Cuz nearly dies. He was just sitting there. He was just standing, trying to do something. And then he nearly died because Viper was given Ezreal for some reason.
Dragon is live.
Another Cloud Drake going over to Homolife Esports. And Quantum Freaks, again, you know, they had that fight. They tried to have a fight on the Grubs. And after that, they're like, you know what? Never mind.
I just think it's so tough, though, because realistically, you look at the bans that Kwangdong put out. I agree with you, Ziggs should have been Ezreal, but would that have changed this game?
So now it's time to get that Baron, which
I don't think. I think Leaper and Andu would still get pushed in.
again, it looks like teams want to sit on 2 items on all their carries before they attempt this Baron.
It's 6K. Like,
So Bulldog's behind here is the point I was.
It doesn't even really feel
Bulldog's behind. He's on that black torch. Rizeka's on his immortal bow and the blade of the Rune King. And HLE's just sitting on vision right here. And there's okay. Here comes KDF trying to answer.
Into the Baron, but that's not going to do anything. Meanwhile, Yone is going to be pushed back, and now Dudu, you know, this front line is coming in for the Quantum Freaks, but Doran gets a massive Gnar to the wall. But that's 2 tanks. The follow-up not quite there. Viper desperate to do some damage. But again, these tanky members of Quantum Freaks still not going down. Bulldog is going to go over the wall. But now Cuz is going in. They're trying to take down Viper, and they finally do get him. But the rest of the team is right there. And the slows are coming down. Zeka on the flank.
Don't think
All the way around the Baron.
HLE were completely prepared for that team fight.
But Andil is not, and that's the Unbound Soul. Dodges the knock up here. Blast Cone, you know, he can try to disengage as well.
I want to go back and
But it's not gonna
see
matter. Blast Cone, he is the way
what
around.
HLE mess up on. I didn't win this team fight.
Not quite there. Fight the Quantum. Yone miss, and Leaper, you know, he's gonna ult into the.
Zeka gets a lot of damage there on Andal and zones him out. Andal has a cleanse.
Free Baron. They're just gonna do Baron, and there's nothing that Quantum Freaks can do. Jungler is not here. Cuz got pushed away.
So that looks, is that Scion ult going in there? It's a Scion ult going on in. Some type of engage. And Andal gets just zoned out here by Zeka. Dudu's teleporting in.
Ult is gonna miss, and Leaper, you know, he's gonna ult into the Baron, but that's not gonna do anything. Meanwhile, Yone is.
The Light gets a lot of damage there. Knocked out of the pit.
Pushed back, and now Dudu, you know, this front line is coming in for the Quantum Freaks, but Doran gets a massive.
Doran takes a lot of damage there.
Gnar to the wall, but that's 2 tanks. The follow-up not quite there.
And Cassante ulted.
To do some damage. But again, these tanky members of Quantum Freaks still not going down. Bulldog is going to go over the wall, but now Cuz is going in. They're trying to
They got Viper. That's what I think you gotta go for.
Viper desperate to do some damage. But again, these tanky members of Quantum Freaks still not going down. Bulldog is going to go over the wall, but now
Zeka got a lot of damage on Kuz right there.
Finally do get him, but the rest of the team is right there. And the slows are coming down. Zeka on the flank.
So KDF get Viper.
Baron pit as now gonna lock them down once again. Leaper, you know, again, he is very tanky, but Andil is not, and that's the Unbound Soul. Dodges the knock up here.
So not very much of a good trade. Let me reword this. Not a good trade for KDF.
As 4 kills now is the number for Zeka.
That one really better than I could have reasonably expected when that started. The problem is again.
We don't need to rewatch this.
Takes up comes the goal. The battle was all could have been a different situation, made even worse. And to Zeka taking Ando out of the fight right from the get-go. The Senna autos could have been a difference maker, and instead, it's a very tough situation, made even worse.
So HLE's doing what you should here, pushing this bottom wave. Or it doesn't have to be a certain lane, just they're taking advantage of the
like, hey, this could be
Baron buff to shove down turrets, which again is why I talk about you can close the game out in 25, 30 minutes. If you get the 4 dragons, and then you get the Baron buff, and that allows you to break into base. Basically what you're seeing with HLE do right here, where they just got 2 turrets in the top lane, the T2 turret, and then the first base turret.
I don't know what you do in the next game. Like, denying the neutral is going to be one thing, but there's just so many champions that it feels like you can't afford to give to Hanwha.
Oh, they're just they're hitting them with their wallets really hard. It's not a fun sight to see if you're.
Looks like this game might be over. My dog just came up to me and wants to go outside, so looking about he picked the right time for this.
No group photos. We're just doing our job here. Zek is still looking for some extra picks as you will avoid the divide.
So, I apologize if my energy's low today on my VOD. I guess I don't really need to apologize, but I'm not making an excuse. I've been doing a lot of VODs here lately, so if you're watching this, check out my past content if you like LCK. I go into a lot more in-depth in these VOD reviews. I've just been chaining them every day, and I got through a lot of technical problems tonight trying to figure out. Got my stream about 2 or 3 hours behind of what I was wanting to do it, so it kind of cost me some of my energy, and it's late at night now, but you know, it doesn't do me any good to wait till tomorrow, because I'll just wake up and there'll be another one to do. So you just gotta slowly grind on it every day, and that's what I'm trying to show you here. For one, if you watch my stream, maybe you start to catch on. Well, Sodaron's getting a little bit, he's a really bad streamer, but he's getting a little bit better at this, and a little bit better. It's like the same thing in solo queue. You just keep grinding at it every day, and you'll notice, wait a minute, I'm getting better at this. It's just your needs and wants change every day that you realize you can do something, so then you start worrying about, well, now I can do this and focus on this. So, like today I got messing with some settings that I've never even thought about that are causing me problems. So I'm going to go ahead and take my break. If you're new here to the Sodaron stream, I sometimes need to take a break, or I got a little sidekick here, my little dog JD. I sometimes need to take him out to use the restroom. So I do put this little window up here, right here where it says be alright back, and I will probably be back in about, see, the stream's been up for an hour and a half, probably be back at about 20 or 30 minutes, and we'll knock out game 2. And then if you watch this in VOD form on my YouTube, I go in and edit this out, so it's kind of a mark for me. Also, if you are a bot or what, all you need to do is just follow my Twitch channel. I don't need to buy viewers, or you don't need to try messaging me on Instagram, or I don't check my DMs really anyways. So just follow my Twitch channel, and that's all I need your help for. I don't need to buy views for you or from you. You just want to help me, just follow me on Twitch. That's pretty simple. You just go and click a button. I mean, it doesn't really cost you anything, and it took you more time to come in here and type stuff where you could just follow me. So that's, and you can watch this channel grow over the years and be like, wow, I was Sodaron's 36th follower, and I was Sodaron's 37th follower, and you'll feel gratitude, and you'll be happy every day and appreciative. So I will be back, Soda stream, and we will get into game 2 of HLE versus KDF, as I'll probably have more energy this next game. So okay, we're back here, Sodaron stream, back for game 2 of HLE versus KDF. So we just saw HLE win game number 1. get to see Vipers Israel, which it looks like people are talking about on social media. See what the casters have to say.
Senna didn't quite really pay off the Azir. There were a lot of thoughts that you had here, Wolf.
Well, I mean, look.
See if Sodaron gives bad analysis.
To prepare one style of drafting for a series, right? CVMAX has kind of mastered this for better or for worse. But unfortunately, in this case, trying to force the Scion, which has some built-in synergy with Senna, you can boop a minion into somebody and like set up a route, and then maybe you can get the big Q smash. Not into Ezreal, by the way, though. And they knew they left the Ezreal and the Leona. They left up the Maokai for Peanut and then picked Scion into the Ezreal lane. There was just no way they were going to win on any lane. They also picked the Cassante into the Gnar face-up as well while they have this losing bottom lane.
Yeah, for me, it was like one of these drafts where it's like there's too much tunnel vision on trying to achieve a certain thing. You forget what the fundamentals of a draft are, and that is if you ever pick Viego, you need to have more than one winning lane, and they had less than one winning lane, unfortunately. And so therefore the whole thing fell apart.
That's some good analysis there that Atlas was giving out, that Viego needs more than one winning lane to win the game.
From minute one. That's good caster math by Atlas right there. He's able to do it when he's here on the desk. Let's take a look at how this all shook up with some of the highlights that we had here. Leaper wanders up into the river, and this, I don't know, this trying clearing a vision. Even the map was against.
As Azir was recalling back,
Wanted to clear this
was a bad time for Azir to recall.
A 4v1.
He didn't have teleport.
And the Drake is also like...
So I didn't notice that.
But after a Leaper dies, let's pause because you can look at the
Azir
state,
was
like the Gnar
recalling.
top side.
It's a really bad time to have a team fight, and the teleport wasn't up.
Behind. You can also see in the CS numbers as well, which is pretty obvious based on how the matchup plays out. Buddy, it's just they're losing everything, everywhere, all the time. At this time, 3.
Okay, we looked at that.
And recipe for success, but they're so far behind. I feel like they felt priced in. They've got the Azir ult. If he's there, maybe they can make it work, but he isn't, and it doesn't work. And for us, like, this was basically the moment the game ended. It was basically completely over at this point. They were massively behind. I mean, the game played out. Hanwha Life had massive edges everywhere, right? But it was at this moment I think CVMAX is probably going, shouldn't have hard forced this draft because it is just not working.
Yeah, it's hard, right? Because it's Quantum Freaks versus
Where's the
Esports, and yes, you might look at the standings thinking, oh, these teams are relatively close
in
together.
stats? Where's the there?
Something happened, but
Yeah.
this makes complete sense, right? Like, how is Cuz supposed to play with all losing lanes? How is Leaper ever going to get to the point in the game where he's relevant? I was very worried looking at this draft going into the game, but the reality was
It would even further.
Well, now I'm having the same problem I had when I started my stream, so I don't know. I can't get my Windows key to work
I
now.
almost feel like they already did.
Snip.
Game number 1 with some of that drafting. We'll have to see what happens in game number 2, guys. We're going to take a break and have the space to break down game number 1. We'll be
I
right back.
don't understand what's causing my Windows key to not work.
yeah, I'm shocked.
I don't know if it'll let me snip. I was having problems with this earlier, where something in my settings won't allow my Windows key to work all of a sudden. And I don't really like all of these extra Corsair. Maybe it's because I didn't have that running. But I don't know how to run all of this. Device settings. So if you're out there and can help me, I don't understand why my Windows key won't. It has something to do with my sound where I've messed with my microphone and now my Windows key doesn't want to work like it should. I don't know if I unplugged my keyboard. See? I don't know. Now I've got a dog on my lap to make it even more difficult. So, yeah, go figure. That's the internet. I wouldn't want to unplug that because that would stop all of this. So, of course, I got a dog on my lap, so I can't get down here and unplug this like I want to. JD, you're going to have to get down for a second, bud. This is what's really frustrating about all of this is it would work if I could just get the technical stuff running. It'd be all right. Okay. So, nope, doesn't want to work. That works for now. Okay. So, I guess it's not like a huge deal, but kind of annoying. If you could help me figure out why my Windows key won't work, where I went into the sound settings and all I did was sound, no, it was control panel. So I went into control panel, hardware and sound, properties. So now I'm running this. This is why I got like 2 hours behind today, just because of this, which is silly. But it's not allowing my Windows key to work now all of a sudden, which makes no sense. Because I've been doing this and had no problem, but now I'm running into this problem where my Windows key won't work, so I can't snip screenshots like I need to.
I had to get it in there. Because Max and Wolf really wanted to. So.
Yeah, I'm shocked we don't get.
I had to get it in there.
The picture-in-picture of Degon just looking.
So what was I trying to do? I was trying to get a
The
screenshot of this last.
Looking devastated.
I'm sure we can set that up. Let's see what this
thing happened, but
yeah.
Which this is annoying now because I can't do it the way I do, but whatever. You have to roll with the punches, as they say. So there's Games 1's draft, and the end game. So Game 2, HLE KDF, right there. Okay. Whoops. So that, it just adds another window that I don't need.
Makes complete sense, right? Like, how is Cus supposed to play with all losing lanes? How is Leaper ever going to get to the point in the game where he's relevant? I was very...
They also picked the Cassante into the Gnar face-up as well.
I don't know. It's up here too. All right. So into game 2. And then it's why I need another monitor. Like I'm running on one monitor, which is like a headache to look at all this stuff and windows and so getting into the draft.
Looking devastated.
I'm sure we can. Let's see what this draft looks like. We're gonna.
So again, the way I look at this,
Yeah, right from the get-go. No surprises there. I do think Kwangdong they want to get Tristana. So someone,
1,
maybe you just ban
2,
Corki Tristana.
3,
call it a day. At the
4,
very least, take
5.
away Tristana here.
Might be able to.
Kwangdong
It might be the
is
Epic Pen that's doing it. I don't know.
in an awkward position, and you're always going to get either Tristana
Control,
or Corki,
Shift,
which is not bad.
Print
I
screen.
would like
What does
to
that do?
It on that pick is just a little bit way too good, and the way his team plays around it, it's really, really rough to deal with.
Like
Kilo
that?
in particular is just when you have a player
Copy.
that's so good at always.
It may be the Epic Pen that's causing the problems. And I may not need to worry about the Windows key. Let's see. Again, we're ironing out the kinks here on the Soda. Oh, yeah. Okay, so I don't really need to worry about the Windows key like I thought, because I can use Epic Pen and help sell Epic Pen to everybody. Because it's easier to use than the snipping tool. So I guess I don't need the Windows key. It's about all I use the Windows key for anyways, was just to... Let me see if I close this out. Maybe I could turn this VOD into a... It may even be this. Oh, jeez. Maybe there's a setting to... I don't like that. Well, maybe it shuts the Windows. Like eventually, I might even learn the hotkeys here. So it's Control, Shift, and Print Screen. Wonder if you can make that to Windows. I better not do that. So you can probably make that the Windows key. Okay. Well, learning to use Epic Pen here on the Sodaron stream. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Kai are just way too stand on the Ash ban.
Okay, so hand walk, take away the rumble, the Nidalee. Kuz is seen Kuz play Nidalee, so that makes sense.
Everything you were saying was correct. The Tristana ban.
Don't really know why the rumble ban on red side that I constantly see. I'm trying to figure that out. Might have something to do with the void grubs and the pressure, the ignite. Well, yeah, the ignite. The ignite on rumble. It talked about it on one of my past VOD reviews where I think I remember seeing Doran play the ignite rumble and accelerating his lane, and they won that way into T1. So
well, okay.
Just want to
1,
Yeah, hey, giving over Corki to Zeka is fun. That's my cope take. I don't know, Valdez.
We have a lot of
Two.
takes here today.
I'll see what Kwangdong end up with. I will be carried away on the
So
next wild
KDF take away the Sejuani from Peanut,
Wait, they picked
HLE,
Yeah, complete no-brainer on that one.
Ash,
Now,
Don't think
and then
anyone is shocked by
HLE
that.
also banned away the Tristana mid from Bulldog, which I think they showed Bulldog stats on Tristana at the beginning of the game that he was
go for
had
Ivern, and they
Bulldog, KDF have had a lot of success on Tristana. A lot of it's on red side because this is another thing is normally KDF like to, or at least the beginning of the summer split, they were playing red side every game. They were giving away the blue side, which I think helps level up your team.
Like the last 2-3 years.
So Han will take the Ezreal and the Mayakai again, which seem to be working very well for him, so that makes sense.
Corki, yeah, Corki Nar.
They take KDF take Corki away from Zeka,
Large champion pool to get something good in second rotation.
which Zeka seems more of a AD type of
yeah.
Corki at least is a
player than the AP mids, what we see out of him.
It gets picked up by Doran, and then they ban away 2 top laners. Or they just pick Leona. You know, that's another thing that's left available here that you kind of have to look at. So,
We need to get a Cuz carry performance. I don't know what it's gonna be, but it needs to be something good. Playing
well, they want AP with
Rams?
280 carries.
Rams good?
We see Brand. We're gonna see Kuz play Brand that I talk a lot about.
Zeka
Uh-oh.
is gonna answer. And Zeka,
Uh-oh.
yeah. Well, this is my point though, right? I think that this is something we run into with particularly Gen G and Hanwha Live, because I think T1 are a very free-form team and they'll just kind of do whatever they feel like on the day. I think they are a lot more volatile in how they play, how they draft. But against Hanwha Live, it really does feel like there are just so many picks that make you go, oh no. I do think
Karma
it
banned.
should have been a Maokai ban, and I don't like the priority that
We've
got
just
here.
watched on my channel and my past VOD, we've watched,
Hanwha can get that make you go,
let's see, was it Karma that Damwa Kia picked into Gen G?
that I've ever seen, and I
Yeah.
hope that Kwangdong ban it away.
Also should be, well, now they're stuck because they banned Karma. You could have banned Nar Leona, and you're feeling somewhat okay. But, yeah.
Yeah,
now
DK
they're
picked
now and they're like, hey,
Karma
we're
with
gonna get
Ziggs and
one.
Ezreal.
It's either Nar or Leona, so you ban away Nar, we'll play something else.
So Hanwha ban away the Cassante and the Alistar.
Do you ban away
From
Nautilus? And then you
Kwangdong
go,
Freaks.
if you're Kwangdong? Nautilus specifically because you're playing Zeri.
And so KDF banned the Gnar, which makes sense because
I think they're looking for a
looked
broader,
like it
especially with
was
Corki
very
as well.
successful for Hanwha in the last game.
Try and get the most value out of that. Not necessarily like Ezreal or rather Zeri, Braum,
Renekton.
super excited about. We'll see. Do you think something like that might be the answer here? Or we go like, if you really want to go crazy, you go Zeri top. And look in the
So again, these are how I look at the draft.
I don't want to go that.
And it starts making sense. Well, why did they pick this first? This is a more important pick. Or this keeps the team from getting this or this counter. There's just so many counters and things going on.
No Leona picked up.
Leona's good into Gnar, for example. Gnar's banned.
Looks like that's probably
So I wanted to look at this.
Yeah, most
Is the Poppy and the Renekton matchup. So I'll look at P.GG. Oops. Poppy. Top lane. And 14.3. Counters. Sample size and done. Well, there's no sample size of solo queue playing this into Renekton. Wanted to see what the stats said of the Renekton Poppy matchup. Hopefully we don't get some really loud ad here. Poppy wins against Renekton 57.3%, 6% of the time. So Poppy's a good counter into Renekton. We found out here today on the Sodaron stream. That says Poppy support though, so those stats are... Poppy wins against Renekton of 52% of the time in the top lane matchup. So KDF pull out a Renekton counter for Doo into Doran.
It's a great Poppy angle, right? Into the Illusion and the Renekton. So one or two options. Leona is a lot stronger in isolation right now. But you might also take into account, what do you not want to play into? I think the Leona Ezreal is just...
The light looked strong on Leona, so would be a good thing to probably take that away from him. So they force Hanwha into Braum. Now, I need to pause this real quick. So how do I do this again? Like that, I guess. Wonder if I can do it. Oh, now it's wanting to work. So yeah, it has something to do with, I don't know why the screen got darker there. Yeah, I don't know why my screen got darker. So I don't know why that. Maybe Epic Pen? Close out Epic Pen here and see if it changes. No. What does Google say? Screen can brightness setting. I don't know. Sometimes it does that after I run a game or something. I don't know why it makes the background go darker all of a sudden. Maybe it was League of Legends. No. I feel like maybe it was OBS, but I can't shut that down right now. I don't know. We'll just have to work through it, SodaStream. I mean, it's not really that big of a deal.
When you have the Braum is also insanely strong. You have Culling, you have the poke from Peanut.
Yeah.
I do think this composition of Hanwha has a...
Get Epic Pen back out. So I don't know why my screen just went bright or darker all of a sudden. Kind of bugs me. Is there display settings? Ooh. I don't know. It's not really that big of a deal.
Outside of that, though,
I do need Epic Pen up, though.
I think
Yeah.
it's better for Kwangdong than it was. Okay, so you have
Sure.
a lot of relatively short-range characters, and you have Brand. You have Poppy, which does get a lot of value to this composition. So you have top lane winning. A jungle matchup should be fine. Bot lane, I'm obviously not going to be too stoked about. Mid lane, in theory, I think Corki is a lot stronger on this patch, but realistically, Zeka looks to be in much better shape than Bulldog is. We'll see if that's actually...
As Quantum Freak
Okay, into the game. Sorry about all the technical problems there.
So we'll see.
big risk that they're taking.
I don't know why the tent goes dark like that. Like, is there a clipboard or something that... It's almost like if I dragged this, it would make my screen back to normal, but... Just wondering if I ran a game of League of Legends real quick, if it would fix that. I'm here, I'm just trying to fix my settings. It's probably like the auto brightness like it was saying, and I just need to fix it after the stream. Some people might even like it. See, like it fixed it once it went in the game. There, see? Now I don't know what just messed that up. I figured that was gonna fix it. No, I don't know why the screenshot messed that up, but so at least going into a game of League of Legends fixes that. See all these technical problems I'm ironing out, and it's like I feel like I got the talking part down. It's the and the knowledge of League of Legends. It's literally just learning to use a computer that's holding me back. The sound and the Windows settings. And so if you're starting to stream and you're worrying about, I'll just help you for you new streamers out there if you're new. If you're running into the problem where you're wanting to stream, but then you're sitting there worrying about, well, is my microphone too loud or is it loud enough? And then you waste like an entire day or an afternoon worrying about that. You're wasting your time. Just stream and keep doing it and keep at it every day. You'll, over time, be able to fix those problems out. These are things that I could have fixed probably the first day that have bothered me and plagued me problems. And it's like I'm too nervous or as a streamer, or I'm like, people don't want to see this, so they're going to be turned off by this. But nobody's going to magically, like I said, you're not going to catch lightning in a bottle where overnight you just do the best video ever and now all of a sudden you're famous. Does not work that way. And if it does, maybe like 1% people get famous like that, like the lightning in a bottle, and then you got viral the next day because you got 500,000 views on something. They're probably going to forget you in a week or two. So, or the way I look at it is like, if I wake up tomorrow and have 100,000 people watching my stream all of a sudden, can I handle that? Probably not, because I've got, right now it's late at night and nobody's watching it because, what I'm doing right now anyways is more of a VOD thing. It's just I'm also sharing it on Twitch, and you can see the behind the scenes type of stuff if you turn in and view that maybe you won't see on the VOD. Maybe it'll eventually be edited out. So there's that, but don't let the little technical things hold you back. Now, this is somebody that's been streaming now for 2 years that it's probably held me back, where, like I said, these are tiny little things that maybe, like, I wasted 2 hours of my day before I got on here just because of the little window setting that took me 20 minutes to figure out on my stream that I should have just done on the stream, because like the 2 hours before I had the energy to do this. So when you go back and watch my stream, like, I'm just giving you insight and behind the scenes, but I was a little bit off from my normal when I started my stream because I wasted 2 hours of my energy worrying about the clipping part that I need. And then I was like, I don't really need it, but that's what I do. And I, like, for coaching stuff, when I was working with a team, they clipped screenshots all the time. I was giving information to Vietnamese players. So that stuff translates pretty easily if you're clipping screenshots of stuff. And then, like, somewhat what I'm showing here, but instead of game 2, then you go and put like Vietnamese to English. Game 2. And then copy that, and then bam, you got stuff in Vietnamese for players to read. So they, from what I saw, clip a lot of stuff out like this. So it's very important when I'm doing the VOD reviews and stuff. So that was something I needed, and it really threw me off. So the beginning of my stream, like, I wasn't satisfied with it, but there's always tomorrow. I can't let one stream hold me back. I'm not going to catch lightning in a bottle in this one. I think I did good analysis, but I'm the type of person that I always want to do better than what I do. And maybe I would lose sleep over, like, well, I should have done this or should have done that. So I'm just giving you advice as a new streamer. Don't worry about those things. Just get on and stream. Because probably now, if I didn't worry about those things, I would have a lot more viewers than I do now. But that's okay. It doesn't bother me. I'm happy with how I'm growing. And again, I don't think, say you've got like 1 or 10 viewers now, and then you wake up tomorrow and all of a sudden, because you did an amazing VOD, you've got 100,000 people watching or 10,000 people watching all of a sudden. I don't think somebody would really be able to handle that. I'm sure you can see it's happened in the scene. But anyways, into game 2 here. Or like, people aren't tuning in because I say one thing that's amazing, or it's more like they watch you because they like you. It's just they grow to like you. Okay, so looking at the vision here. Now we're rolling JD. Delight has a sweeper lens, and KDF have the double vision bottom lane. Looking at this picture, they may go back and do something different. But I have done vision coaching and jungle coaching. So that's the analytical stuff that I've put time into trying to figure out and look at. And I talk about it in my channel and my streams. Again, this is stuff maybe I should have thrown out at the beginning of my stream, but I'm trying to not lose all of my energy at the beginning of my stream and kind of conserve it throughout the whole thing, instead of like, yay, watch Sodaron for 5 minutes, now he's boring. I'd rather it be like, okay, Sodaron maybe wasn't as interesting in the beginning, but he kept me interested for the whole 2 hours type of thing. So that's like what I'm working on right now. So I've spent hours today where I'm trying to fine tune my mic settings. Maybe I shouldn't even be giving you this information out, but I don't understand why when I reboot my computer or shut it down, every time I turn it back on, the mic setting resets to a certain thing, and then like you get on and stream and you're like, oh man, I did 3 hours and my microphone was 20 volume off what it should have been, and then you lose sleep or you don't stream the next day because you're worried about that. Like, you just have to keep working at it every day, and it's the same thing I talk about in solo queue. If you want to be really good, you just have to keep grinding the same thing. A lot of people in solo queue get caught up where they have a bad game playing a champion they want to learn, and then they have such a bad game, they're like, well, I'm gonna play this other champion that's comfortable for me, and then they turn around and lose that game, or they win but they don't learn anything. I don't usually really learn much if I win. I learn more when I lose, like today. And so I was listening to a really cool podcast from Conan O'Brien and James Corden yesterday, and James Corden was giving advice like getting into the entertainment business. I don't want to get up and do the same stream every day where I'm comfortable. I want to keep pushing myself outside of my comfort level. So like today, I pushed myself outside of my comfort level where I don't have the normal energy that I would, but I worked through it. So hopefully it's watchable. So looking at this top lane vision right now, the top laners are man-to-man, like I call it, if you watch American football. And what man-to-man means is you play where you see your other man. And they're fanned out like man-to-man. We'll call this man-to-man or fan. Like you're one-on-one, keeping track of your guy. Now Kuz has like line of sight of two guys. Delight has the sweeper lens here, so he's hoping to, I guess, catch some vision out. We don't know how far we are into the game. I showed you on the last stream or two where I asked you, do you even know when the trinket ward is activatable after you get out of the shop? Or because basically it's 25 seconds, and 25 seconds gets you about there or about there in the jungle or there or there. So you're trying to figure out, well, where did they place their wards? So this bottom lane here is going to be, should be more aggressive, or set up to be more aggressive into the Ezreal Braum. Also different in this game is Viper's playing Cleanse. I'm guessing that's because of Leona with the Ignite. And Leaper has the Cleanse. So just rolling forward here.
Here we go, game number 2.
I apologize, my dog's snoring on my lap, so if you hear somebody snoring, it's not me.
And I'm very excited to see Zeka playing the Lucian here into Corki. We just had this matchup recently, right? Where the
You got Q's protecting Bulldog and Delight protecting... Okay, we're 48 seconds into the game. For some reason, Riot won't show us the first minute, and then, to me, it kind of gives misinformation to solo queue players that are trying to get better, because there's important movements going on, and you're making plays off whoever you find. Whatever vision you find of your enemy is going to allow you to make different plays around the map were to gank or a losing matchup or gonna show up after my first jungle clear over here. So they're trying to find information off that and get a ward in the enemy jungle somewhere, like on the Raptors or the red buff or blue buff. Go back and watch GAM during the summer of 2022 and at Worlds. I was very, very strict on, please just get a buff or get a ward on the red buff or the blue buff. And they did. So you can go watch. You can call me a liar or whatever. I don't care. I was supposed to get a jersey that I never got. But it doesn't really matter to me. It does give me some credit. I mean, I do have credit. It kind of seemed like a thing over in Asia, like you work for credit. But supposed to have a jersey, never came to me. The owner or CEO in DMs, hey, I'll get you a jersey, never came to me. So who knows? Am I saying he's a good owner, a bad owner? I was kind of upset about the guy that was working under him, Coach Hankay, that what kind of really made me upset was like he didn't get to go to Worlds when he deserved to, and then like they on social media like pretended that he was there. They actually had like a picture cut out of him, so when they took pictures they could put like a picture cut out of him because the guy was too cheap to send an important analytical coach to New York at the time. And so I was supposed to go to New York, and it was going to cost me $3,000 or $4,000 or $2,000. I would say probably like in the $3,000 range to stay there for a week on my own dime. And it may have got me a job coaching with other teams because I would have went and met other people, but it was just not worth it to me. So I didn't do it. And so then had some problems and things go into my life last year where I had to move and walk away from League of Legends for 6 months or so, because when I was doing the like coaching work and stuff, like you're doing like 30 hours a day, which doesn't even exist, or 25 hours a day of work and no sleep. And then my family really didn't like me because I was always irritable or upset because I was just so tired all the time. And they thought it was like the dumbest thing I was doing, and I'm like, no, I'll get credit from it and it'll turn into another job somewhere sometime. And so this is the start of it. Most teams don't care or value really if you have any coaching experience or not. It seems like that they're more worried on getting a young player or a young person and pawning off a bunch of work on them and not paying them anything and then get rid of them for somebody else. So that's kind of the game I see go on in the League of Legends coaching thing. But I was supposed to have a jersey, GAM jersey that said Sodaron, and it's not worth it. Like to buy one just to be like, look, I got it, because like what good does that do me? And I could show the screenshots of the owner, and I've sent it to you. And, well, maybe they didn't have the right address. Pretty sure they did, and they didn't even have to send it from Vietnam. They just had to send it from New York. But I guess the $10 to ship it costs too much. None of these teams have money, so that's the way the whole scene works, guys. Like, a lot of it is a scam and BS, and you pawn the work off, and then you just go, goodbye, I'm gonna hire this person now. And so it looks like maybe GAM is going downhill after last season. I like Coach Hankay, and he got the coach. I don't know why you wouldn't keep him. That kind of showed me why. That's why I'm even saying it. Like, I was really disappointed that Coach Hankay didn't get another season on coaching GAM. Now, he said that like the owner was very involved all the time, like he's basically like, from what I heard back in the day, like maybe the TSM owner, like wanting to be the owner and coach and do everything. So I'm not putting them down. They win VCS. So But it so far hasn't helped me get a coaching gig. That's what I'm trying to do. I think I may have some LEC friends out there that maybe skim over this and some of the information goes and leaks over there. So that's some of why I do this boring VOD stuff too, is hoping that I would really like a job where like I do what I do and then some team like a G2 or a Fnatic that have the funding. I think I'm trying to start a new role or job for teams that are in the LCS or the LEC where you have a scouting coach that's watching the LCK and the LPL and scouting and prepping ahead of, like, say, G2. There's not really, just like a personal standpoint, maybe as a fan, it's not likely that hopefully Fnatic or Team BDS or somebody, can beat G2, but it's not looking like any team in the LEC is going to give G2 any trouble. But the problem is they're bored. So the players on G2 are bored and they need someone like me that wants to help elevate their drafts and be like, hey, this week they played Brand, or like this week KDF pulled out Brand into Maokai, or it didn't work and Maokai won into Brand. But like I'm feeding the information to like a LEC team that they know or they're prepping, because you want G2 to win Worlds. We want G2 to win Worlds more than anything if you're a G2 fan this year, because it's in Europe. So you would think that G2 would go above and beyond and maybe hire someone like me this year to feed them the information and scout beyond the LEC. And then they need some type of preparation over time, and especially during this year, because you're going to have the Korean teams and the Chinese teams come over to Europe and boot camp before World starts. But to prep these teams like G2 outside of their area, so because in their area they don't really have much of a challenge right now. So it's where they need to take use of their time and level up and try things, do things. I think I've said it on my on past streams, but it's like you need to take one arm behind your back if you're G2 and play every team like that in the LEC right now, because you're going to get some days where you're tired and you're like, well, let's just take an easy win and get out of here in like 30 minutes and take easy champions that are comfortable. And I just went on a rant about it earlier, where it was like, be outside your comfort zone. And so it looks like a lot of these teams play comfort things. And so I think that like an NA team or a LEC team like G2 or FlyQuest would hire somebody like me that watches all the LPL and the LCK and feeding the information to them, so they're prepping ahead of, because the top orgs are more than likely gonna win their region. Like GAM's won theirs for I don't know how long. I haven't even looked. They're probably number one team. I mean, let me look. I just aren't out there, but I haven't watched the VCS this summer. GAM has a 78% win rate. Now, I really started to like I did enjoy watching the VCS. So it's like GAM wins it every year, or like G2 wins it every year, or FlyQuest or Team Liquid. And so they need to prep outside of their region instead of just easily winning their region and then going to Worlds and doing bad. Well, there's always next year, guys. No, we want to see you win Worlds. A lot of us out here dislike Riot so much. We want to see Riot get beat at their own game. There's a lot more I could really go into that I've talked to. I'm not going to say his name, but the Team Heretics coach, that he kind of thinks I'm a jerk because he thinks that I think it's okay for players to practice like 15 hours a day, and thinks like I guess I'm the type of person that will force that onto him. No, I'm not like that. That's up to the players. But there's a lot of different labor laws in the US versus Germany versus all of China or versus Korea. So there's some things that are really taken advantage of and not like painting it out for you. It's up to you to figure out. But it's almost like Riot Games has it set up to take advantage of all of this and maybe make the Europe teams look like the bad guys and the NA teams look like the bad guys, and then the Chinese teams and Korean teams stomp them every year. But I mean, like I talk about on my stream, when you only play maybe like 15 games in one split versus 60, then common sense would say the team that practices and plays the 60 games is probably going to beat the team that only played 15 games. But I'm not like putting Riot down. I'm not saying they do anything wrong. I'm just saying that there's a lot of us that want to see the team from LEC or NA win Worlds and beat Riot at their own game. And I don't think that an LEC team or an NA team is going to come up with a magical comp that counters whatever like top Korean teams do or top LPL teams do. That they need to scout and try to do things and be aware. Like, again, they need to hire somebody that just watches the LPL and LCK. Now, I know they probably don't make as much money as a lot of you think they do, so they can't even hire that. But just my thoughts on the Sodaron stream. I put little buddy down here for a second. So anyways, trying to get in this game here. Game 2 of KDF versus HLE.
Might have been Zeka as well. I feel like most mid laners, like I know it wasn't Chovy, because Chovy's Lucian looks kind of whatever.
Was it Zeka?
I don't know.
Into closer?
Zeka gets a ward here on his own Raptors. So they... KDF have ward on their own Raptors. Now, normally you get over here and you put one here. Again, like I said, you can go back and watch the games in 2022. It's what I was talking about, like always getting a ward there or a ward there at the beginning of the game. But teams are more aware of this now, so it's a lot more difficult to get a ward over on a buff.
Might be.
That sounds right.
Look, they did. Did they play recently? Yeah.
Delight and Viper are
That
up
makes sense.
pretty far here. I don't know what's going on. It's kind of weird. I'm looking at this little vision right here. Okay, had to get my little sidekick. He wanted a drink of water, and he's getting anxious to go back outside already, but we got to get through this game.
Well,
Lucian does have a very good matchup in Corki, especially early on.
yeah, it's
Okay, so they know, HLE that is, they know where that ward is, so they 1, 2, 3, 4-man invest to get this vision sweeped out here at the Raptors. Get the sweeper lens. Now, this also will give a disadvantage though to the laning phase. But watching the last laning phase, it looked like Viper got really far ahead of Leaper and Andil. Viper and Delight.
it's a Zeka matchup. Zeka on a short range AD character, I think is going to be feeling great. Level 1.
Okay, so then KDF get a deep ward of their own here. And allows them to take maybe the red buff and the Raptors. I don't know how many buffs they'll get.
Of Brom, notoriously one of the best in the game, so I do think.
So where's
if I want them
Kuz?
to back off at least a little bit. Where is Kuz gonna go, though? I do want.
Maokai
Right now the
starts
answer
the Raptors.
is nowhere. I guess he does Krugs and then just.
Okay, so
that-
Kuz
that
starts to
life
Krugs.
Krugs and back.
I thought I just saw a ward here, but it went away.
The Krugs into back angle. Now he could potentially come up here and challenge on the red buff, but
Yeah,
I
it's
think the
warded.
timing of this.
This brush is warded on blue. Sometimes the vision goes for one other team's side, and then it's confusing when you're looking at the game.
That was a bit dicey, but yeah, this is the problem. Like Brand's level 1 actually is really bad when it comes to his clear. So use standing
Got a little fight
So
down
Peanut
there.
gets 2 of Brand's buffs to help shut him down. So this was smart of this was smart of HLE spending all this investment to come down here and shut down 2 of these camps from Kuz. I've talked about Brand and why the AP junglers on my past streams. Just watch them, or VODs. A lot of it is the farm that the Brand can stay up in with the CS numbers of the other laners. A Maokai seems to do pretty well too, being an AP jungler.
Ton of damage in that trade.
Good level up. Yeah, Kuz is just gonna eat the loss.
And also, I see these 2 wards that KDF put down as well.
Getting steel caps, I think, feels
So this will allow their laning phase
very
to,
early on, particularly when you're playing.
they could
GTA and you're the one
way overextend over the line I talk about.
Like Fleet also doesn't have nearly as much value as
Because they've got these 2 wards here.
Yeah, Kuz is level 2.
Yeah.
So that was, I'm guessing, one of Poppy's wards. And then Peanut's doing what he needs to do over here. He's trying to shut Kuz down.
Look at his lanes. Look at his lanes.
So if you want to shut down the Brand, you have to, it looks like you got to aggressively get in there and
He's got
harass
a
him.
ton of experience.
Yeah.
Mid lane's a disaster, and
So I don't know the Brand Maokai numbers of the matchup, but it looks pretty good. I like Maokai a lot. One of my favorite champions. Not that I pick favorites. But I've played a lot of Maokai. Maokai top, support, middle. Done it all. What is the Brand? I'm trying to find the numbers of Brand. Why are you not showing me? Maokai, Korea, Challenger, Jungle. %100 win rate.
And no Gromp and 2 camp brand.
You know what the worst part is? If he tries to cross into Homoli's look at bot lane.
Yeah.
Oh, Peanut's gonna cross as well. No, Valdez.
He's chasing him. He does this, man. Peanut just knows. He's like, okay, I know exactly where you're going.
No.
Because he knows this is the only camp that Cuz could do, and he even missed. He even missed it.
He might have to flash.
Yeah,
He
has to flash. Yeah.
Oh God.
As Peanut's dabbing on the haters here, and
I want to look away.
I said it. Oh, look at this. It's a casual 14-game winning streak on Maokai. Huh, who could have seen this coming? Yeah, bottom lane going very well for Life Esports as well. You did give Viper Ezreal again. That did happen.
Maybe he'll get his Raptor camp. Maybe he'll get some Raptors. I'm losing it, Val.
Well, they did respond for him. Yay.
He didn't get to... I'm done.
He didn't get the
I'm done. He didn't get the passive rock.
Yep.
I'm okay. Good luck,
Goodbye,
Valdez.
Chronicler.
Take it away, Valdez.
I'll take it from here. We got the solo cast now. Chronicler is left. It's over. Yeah. So Peanut's back, by the way. He's back in Cuz's jungle. He says, well, you probably didn't get the Gromp because I know you were waiting for the Raptor respawn. Again, this is what Peanut does. He just feasts on junglers that get behind. I don't even want to call it weak junglers because Cuz is a fantastic jungler. All right. It doesn't really matter.
All right, I'm back.
Okay,
so
he's back.
I've actually thought about this. The reason why Peanut is so good on Maokai is because Peanut, you know, in his old age, Peanut's hands, not quite what they used to. You know, Peanut Niddly, that used to be a thing that made you go, man, and now it makes you go, oh, man.
Oh, man.
But on Maokai, you need no hands, 0 hands, which means that all his energy goes to his brain. So he just sits there and he goes, oh, you have Braum, so a level 1 stronger. And then he just, especially being a jungler, everyone has had these games. And it just feels so horrible. 2 minutes, Valdez! 2
minutes from Peanut.
He's Maokai. He's a tree.
No, he's the invading tree. And that's what happens with the Braum.
Why? This is also a textbook example. Again, a textbook example in the previous series. This is a textbook example of how easy it is to jungle with 3 winning lanes. Because we give a lot of credit to Peanut, but I do think we need to also note that every single lane is winning again.
Yeah, and this isn't Cuz's fault at all. You know, like, don't get us wrong.
He plays it well.
He's just sitting here like, well, there's nothing I can do. I'm screwed. And that's it. And Bulldog is trying to CS next to Illusion, maybe trying to bait for Cuz? Not 100% sure. Cuz doesn't have flash, so that's not going to happen either. As we do get the stun here onto Ondil, who is in a bit of trouble, is going to have to flash. Instead, he goes in as a very apt time to show the Zeri on a 5-game losing streak during the first blood of Zeri not able to do anything. Not Zeri's fault either, but, you know, just kind of makes sense. Life Esports are smacking him over the head with a giant red hammer right now.
Just doesn't feel like the 2 teams are even remotely the same level. Like, this is a colossal gap.
Is this more or less one-sided than our first series against Bro, who hasn't won a series yet?
Like, for sure. Remember game 1? Like, Brion actually got a lead early game. So we take another lead, gets tagged here, and
you just got a flash.
Well, I agree, but I think he actually dies no matter what. Because I think they get the activation, and like flashing the initial Q.
You have to flash before they get the activation, otherwise you just die.
Well, yeah. Yeah, but you see, it's like, well, maybe we go in. They didn't even have to use the heal. Leaper obviously isn't able to do any damage because Viper is standing behind the light. And now a kill over to Viper again. This game, 7.5 minutes in, 1.4k gold lead. I don't know, Valdez. Zeka doesn't care. What is this?
He did take a lot of damage for free.
He should.
Yeah.
Okay, so Cuz.
All right, here we go. 6. Little angle. Cuz, the knockup. Doran in a lot of trouble, but now Dudu taking a bunch of damage, has to flash away. Doran knows he can't get away. And the 1 auto gets him a kill, and not even an assist for Cuz. Not even an assist.
If I was Cuz, after this game, we're taking a We're calling our friends. We're calling our loved ones. We go outside, touch some grass.
Yeah.
Anything but play another game of League of Legends. The fact he doesn't even get the assist there, my God.
Uh-oh, Bulldog. In a little bit of trouble here. The calling's going to come out. He's going to have to flash away from Zeka. And that's going to be a big lead for him now. Going to mean that Bulldog has to play a lot more passively.
Yeah, I said it was going to get better once the boots were done. It's not, actually.
I think it did for a little bit, and then...
Yeah, marginally.
He's taking these trades. He's getting too close to Zeka, just desperately trying to farm because...
Well, he's Corky.
It probably feels helpless because he fell behind in game 1, and now he's like, it's happening again. Like, what do I do? I have to try to keep up, but instead he just nearly dies. So...
Yeah. Oh,
here comes Leaper, trying to go in. Viper immediately just going to Arcane Shift away, and they will respect the Zeri ultimate for now, as the Q is going to land on the Leaper. Now we've got
it's
flux, but...
Yeah, and Ondil, like if Ondil is 6, maybe you can extend that play, make it happen. Not going to be the case.
Get away from the Braum. Get away from the Braum. Viper has Flash, and he's looking for more.
It's getting a little bit low in mana, but we'll be fine. Oh, God. There will no peanuts here. I don't think there is a... Oh, yeah. Now, because there should be a dive opportunity, maybe an angle here for...
Oh, trying to go on a Delight here, who is level 6, but he does get blown up, and now the turn trying to come out, but that's actually a nice play set up here by the side of Kwangdong Freaks, as Delight is not able to respect the lockdown from those two members.
Understandable as, oh, this might be a bit, oh, I actually was expecting Leaper to chase, but obviously Peanut could still be bare, so he can't realistically go for that. Viper also has his sums. That's a big win. That's some gold going into Cuz, and Hanwha Life, that's where I start to think you see a little bit of hubris, where they're like, we're spotted, we're still going, and you have Braum, so you feel really safe. One of the examples where we do actually see the value coming through from Cuz, who is no nonsense, just flashes in to ensure that he gets the ultimate off. And that ends up being, I think, the big difference maker. A lot of damage coming through here, even with everything going poorly for him. It's really one of the interesting things with Brand specifically, is that your base damages are also so high that as long as you get your passive activation off of a respectable amount of damages, this bot wave is mostly gonna get missed.
Yeah, Viper, it looks like maybe he faked a back, and then he stayed and he pushed the cannon wave.
Yeah.
So at least it is a cannon wave for Leaper, but Viper gets a nice little push in. Meanwhile, we got a fight here over the Grubs, which Brand, okay, couple of them going over to Cuz, very nice.
Oh, man.
Tilt proof.
Yeah, Cuz actually, oh, it's Dudu, it's fine.
Okay, they're gonna make a play. Peanut doesn't have Flash. The angle, as down will go Peanut, not able to do anything in that case, and Leaper's getting a plate down in bot. Quantum Freaks are coming back.
Kwangdong Freaks taking a page out of the Hanwha Life book. We know that this team is very consistent when it comes to finding comebacks from deficits. Peanut in particular, one of the best junglers to do so, and Cuz unfazed. We were, it seems like, much more tilted by what was happening to him than he was. Able to get the kill on bot lane, get the smite, because even if they don't end up winning the fight, just getting to those 2 Grubs is like, that's a really big win. Not getting to 5 when they have Renekton, Ezreal, and Lucian is definitely a big win. And actually very nicely done. That TP from Dudu looked a little bit like it was, in Dutch we would say, mustard after your meal. So like, stuff's just too late. Like there's no, why is this here? What's the point? And
mustard after your meal.
Yeah, it's like when you're saying, oh, that's mustard after your meal. It's like, why would you bring out the mustard? The meal's already done.
Well, it's obviously for the dessert donuts.
Okay, I can't even do right. So I think a really nice.
It's a very common thing in America. I don't know about you.
Nicely done there by Kwangdong. I thought you were going to say like dessert pretzel. Like that at least kind of.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense. Yeah.
Although I know you would eat a sweet pretzel with mustard. That just sounds horrible.
It doesn't have to be sweet.
No.
Savory dessert.
I'm down with savory desserts. That's fine. I'm just making sure. Yeah, nicely done there by Ondil extending the play to do actually using his teleport aggressively. Ends up working on it now, all of a sudden. Game.
It's a game.
In a playable state, which is much more than we could have expected. I think coming in to the early game in particular.
Yeah, I was very worried. I didn't think we were going to have League of Legends today. This was our only chance. Except when Bro got that lead, I guess, in the first game.
For the first 10 minutes of our team.
Yeah, that was some league. Yeah.
That did happen. This counter matchup, I swear it used to be a little bit better. I think it's the power of Eclipse specifically that has made a big difference. In like these short trades from Renekton are just so punchy. I remember back in the day, like the matchup was actually unplayable. Like Renekton just wasn't able to really do anything at any point. Remember when Ornn used to beat Renekton? That was fun. I like that. That was enjoyable.
That was fun. Uh-oh, Viper, little caught there. He is gonna cleanse, as now we get the play onto Cuz. His Delight engages Braum, showing his face once again. And you see just about how well that's gonna go. Cuz is going to get flashed on here, but immediately Zeka gets stunned and the combo comes out. Zeka is dead, but no trade on the Bulldog. Quantum Freaks just trading up once again. Little ults. Uh-oh. Ooh. Stone Cold is Bulldog.
Bulldog not in the slightest impressed. He has TP as well, so he can actually TP into this play if Homa Life overstep, and there he comes. That should be the Dragon. And Kwangdong in the second game coming alive, Veldas.
Some real League of Legends.
Zeka helped them a little bit.
Yeah. Just a bit. And it's Infernal Soul. So, gonna be fighting over this Soul in this game. Homa Life Esports gonna go and take the Rift Herald as a little consolation prize for themselves. And they're still ahead at this point in time. I think especially because Viper's in a really good spot. You definitely say that they're ahead. I think that, well, Andel's going to try to find an engage onto Braum. Not going to happen.
Yeah, it's actually the slow from Peanut, which ends up being the difference maker there. So taking a look at this play, starts up Andil, I think doing a great job. It's really hard with Leona to actually have a consistent impact into Ezreal because he's so slippery. And then Cuz throws his cooldowns in. Oh, Zeka again?
Yep, he is dead. Absolutely. Gets close to the Poppy, and the Poppy eats Lucian for free. And that's going to be the end of him. So Zeka started off pretty well, but now it's not.
And man, Cuz farming his way back into this matchup. He was already getting the 4 honor for you know, untiltable, even if they would end up losing, but looking very crisp right now. And might actually be worth slowly starting to talk about the fact that the light is very slippery.
Yeah. And now Doran's going to return to his lead. He says, I shouldn't have let Zeka try to handle the Poppy. I will deal with this.
Yeah, he's very big, because I think he got the first turret blood, so he's like 2 items for Renekton. Very scary Crocodile Veldas.
Yeah. And with Black Cleaver, the front line will be shredded. Mostly.
Oh, I've been talking to my mic the whole time where it's been muted, but there's nothing I can do about it.
Down the line, though, if Kwangdong starts stacking armor, eventually the Homa Life damage is really going to fall off. And they have Corki, they have Zeri, they have a Brand, they have great front line. Might be playable, Veldas.
I apologize. I know I turned my mic off to put the dog down and then forgot to hit the mic button, so nothing I can do about it.
But now it has changed.
And now Cuz, substantially ahead, finishes his Leandries.
That is Peanut.
I guess I can go back and...
By just getting...
Hold on, I'll be right back. I'll redo this. Okay. So again, I apologize. I was sitting here talking for like 5 minutes where I had to put the little one down for a minute, and I hit the pause button for a minute. I forgot to unhit it, so the mute button on my microphone, so I probably talked for like 5 minutes. Hopefully not like 15 minutes where I kept talking and whatever I was saying didn't make any sense. So I guess I'll go back in time here. Just if you're enjoying the VOD or not, you'll have to bear with me. I got distracted by the dog, so I'll just kind of go back in time here and recap what I missed.
Yeah, marginally.
he's taking these trades. He's getting.
And then I can edit it out later.
Just desperately trying to farm because
Why he's Corky?
it probably feels helpless because he fell behind in game 1 and now he's like, it's happening again.
Okay, so HLE get the dragon.
But instead he just nearly dies. So
Yeah. Oh.
here comes Leaper trying to go in. Viper immediately just going to Arcane Shift away, and they will respect the Zeri ultimate for now. As the Q is going to land on the Leaper. Now we've got some
It's
flux, but
and Ondil, like if Ondil is 6, maybe you can extend that play, make it happen. Not gonna be the case.
get away from the Braum. Get away from the Braum. Viper has flash. And he's looking
So again, I don't know how long I talked. I don't even know if I know I went on a rant. I may have went on a rant and not hit the mute button there. But I know I was really on a roll for a minute, and then my dog needed down or something, and I turned away for a minute, and I turned my microphone button off for just a second, and then when I came back and started talking, I forgot to hit it. So apologize. Just kind of recapping here in case I've got to edit out anything. It's probably not really that big of a deal. It's not like I'm going to catch lightning in a bottle.
So he can't realistically go for that. Viper also has a Sums. That's a big win. That's some gold going into Cuz. And on my life, that's where I start to think you see a little bit of hubris, where they're like, we're spotted, we're still going. And you have Braum, so you feel really safe. One of the, I think the big difference maker, a lot of damage coming through here, even with everything going poorly for him. It's really one of the interesting things with Brand specifically, is that your base damages are also so high that as long as you get your passive activation off, have a respectable amount of damage.
So we've got both the supports here helping out the mid laners get caught up.
Yeah.
I think I talked about this, but I mean, I don't know. This might have been where the pause the button went off right here.
Meanwhile, we got a fight here over the Grubs, which Brand, okay.
Oh yeah, I was talking about, like, I don't understand why that healed. And I have the same problem when I'm doing the Gromp sometimes, or the blue buff, where it wants to path back, and I don't know why, and then it heals like that. So there's some bugs in these jungle minions that it'd be nice if Riot Games would fix them. That they just path back for no reason and start healing.
I know that this team is very consistent when it comes to finding comebacks from deficits. Peanut in particular, one of the best junglers to do so.
And so I do remember, and again, I don't know if I had it recorded or recorded the mic button off or not, but you want to get mainly your first item around 10-15 minutes. So Ezreal's already on his Trinity Force. Zeka, I remember, is about to go back and get his Kraken Slayer. Renekton's about to go back and get his lethality item soon, right there. And so this would be a really good time to force a team fight.
Mustard after your meal.
Yeah, it's like when you're saying, oh, that's mustard after your meal. It's like, why would you bring out the mustard?
Whatever this Scout's boomerang thing.
Donuts.
Okay, I can't even. You're right. So I think a really nice,
very common thing.
I still think, again, I preach on this, but the zombie ward or ghost poro that Barrel runs on Leona is, you sweep this out and then you get gold and then you get a ward there. Free ward. I think that's a better rune choice to run than the Cosmic Insight.
I'm down with savory desserts. That's fine. I'm just making sure. We had nicely done there by Ondil extending the play to do actually using his teleport aggressively. Ends up working on it now, all of a sudden. Game.
Kuz gets his Leandri's tournament.
Much more than we could have expected, I think, coming in to the early game in particular.
Yeah, I was very worried. I didn't think we were going to have League of Legends today.
Okay, so
this was our only
this is where you want to force a team fight since you're HLE right here. With the one item advantage.
Yeah, that was some league. Yeah.
That did happen. This counter matchup, I swear it used to be...
Zeri has her Static Shiv, and Brand has his Leandri's Torment, but he's behind.
Like, these short trades from Renekton are just so punchy. I remember...
Maokai did something kind of weird where he went to cooldown boots first, and then the Black Torch, so he is going to be behind. He's not going to have his Leandri's yet.
I like that.
And you want to be at 150 CS at 15 minutes.
Well, caught there. He's going to cleanse, as now we get the play
So-
onto Cuz. This delight engages Braum, showing his face once again. And you see just about how well that's going to go. Cuz is going to get...
Zeka uses his flash there. Zeka's flash is down, his ult is down. I guess I'll experiment with yellow, maybe that's better. I try to use the red and blue to just always think in the team colors. Kuz's flash is down, Dudu's teleport is down, Andel's flash is down, Andel's ult is down, okay. So Zeka gets taken down.
Nope, no trade on the Bulldog. Quantum Freaks just trading up once again.
Which this allows
Stone Cold is
the
Bulldog.
the dragon is live. I was gonna say this allows KDF to get the
TP into this play if Home Alive overstep, and there he comes. That should be the dragon.
never mind, I'm getting a step ahead of myself. The horse ahead of the cart ahead of the horse.
Zeka helped them a little bit.
So KDF get the dragon on this.
Just a bit.
And HLE take the Rift Herald. I was about to say it the wrong way around.
So, gonna be fighting over this soul in this game. Home Alive Esports gonna go and take the Rift Herald. As
I may have
a
just-
surprise for themselves.
On accident, I don't know. So, but I just, in case I need to edit, I went back and started talking again and redo it.
Vipers in a really good spot. You definitely say that they're ahead. I think that's well,
Probably won't worry about it.
find and engage onto Braum. Not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's actually the slow from
Tomorrow will be a new day. Get up and do another VOD.
Maker there. So taking a look at this play, starts off Undale. I think doing a great job. It's really hard with Leona.
To the Poppy, and the Poppy eats Lucian for free. And that's going to be the end of him. So Zeka started off pretty well, but now it's not.
Man, Cuz farming his way back into this matchup. He was already getting the 4 honor for unsaltable, even if they would end up losing, but looking very crisp right now. And might actually be worth slowly starting to talk about the fact that the composition of Guangdong scales insanely well. And this is just very well done by Dudu. Sets it up, Cuz just
So-
walking in. Look at that, they even had an insurance.
Zeka got caught out again for a second time. What was he doing?
Well done by Dudu. That
He's cut out without a flash. I mean, he was at the line I'm talking about all the time right here. Gets caught out.
Of Guangdong scales insanely well. This is just very well done by Dudu. Sets it up, Cuz just has to walk in and look at that.
Probably
They had an insurance policy.
Made a greedy play where he used his E right there and he needed it. So I would say that's what happened with Zeka right there.
You know,
Is
recuperate,
he made a greedy play where he didn't expect
very slippery.
Kuz to be right there, so he E'd
Turn to his lane. He says,
for like a minion or something to add extra damage when he needed it,
we'll deal with this.
in case he got ganked to E away because he didn't have his flash. So
Very scary crocodile.
Zeka's greed lost his life.
And with Black Cleaver, the front line will be shredded. Mostly Poppy, but also Leona. She'll eventually...
And really, he's overextended again. He's asking to get ganked here. He does have his teleport though.
Damage is really gonna fall off.
He's so like in this instance, Zeka's probably trying to get somebody from KDF to come down there, like Bulldog, who doesn't have his teleport, and then he can make a play around the map.
The lanes were so one-sided, and the jungle. For How Life Esports, we were very worried, but now it has changed.
And now Cuz, substantially ahead, finishes his Leandries.
That is Peanut flanking from their own jungle. Andel's in a lot of trouble. Will flash the wall and gets the disengage.
So the Andal still survives through that. I thought he was a goner.
As Doran getting to work
Doran's
here.
adding in
Both the turret and Dudu.
super
Gonna
aggressive.
take a bunch of turret shots. Now the steadfast presence comes in, and yeah, he's just...
I mean, this is supposed to be a mad matchup, this Poppy.
Gonna roam up top and kill him.
Bad matchup for Dorn, this Poppy into Renekton.
But they couldn't have possibly known, right?
So
Oh, how
he's
about
doing pretty well when he's diving Poppy into his own turret and trying to take him down.
I'm not gonna lie,
Overextended.
Guangdong are taking
Now he's got his second item,
this
so
opportunity. It goes down to the play and mid. I feel like that's where things went.
Dorn's doing well, sitting on his 2 items. You want your 2 items at 20 minutes so you can do the Baron.
Should be fine. does play it a little bit of a gamble there.
So,
And
Bulldogs
differential.
behind a
I
bit.
do want to know, mid lane turret still standing for Humble Life. As Doran, you knew. You knew that. You knew they were at least Leo.
Yeah, I don't know what Doran was. I mean, that was pretty super aggressive from Doran there.
He knew, but he didn't care. And
Yeah, so maybe the call. I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, right? Maybe his call is like, I'm dying anyway because I'm this far up the turret.
So HLE are at least playing into KDF. They're
so I might as well trade for the turret and try to get a 1v1.
all three lanes are playing super aggressive.
sure,
I don't know if that's true.
we'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one.
I know it's Doran.
Good job, Doran. Made the best of a rough situation.
It's Doran. I don't know.
Viper's got his Manumune already.
Yeah, that's true.
Zeka's close to his, I don't know what he's going to take second item.
Then I imagine he's going to go Jackshaw's next, and then
Yeah.
he's going to go Randuin's, and he is not going to die. Like, Black Cleaver, be damned, doesn't matter.
Two items, two
He's going to
items.
have to go tank from here on out. He can't afford to actually go AP. Not in the lost place because that build is kind of bad now.
Yeah.
So, I think Kwangdong have a great shot. And if they get this dragon, start stacking Drakes on Brand, Zeri.
There's just no vision here for Humble Life Esports. I'm gonna dodge that, but now the engage is gonna come in here right on top of the Maokai. Peanut pretty tanky himself, but the damage is there. He has to flash, and now he's burning down. Peanut, desperate for a passive, it's not gonna happen.
Okay, so that's a great time to take this dragon when you take the enemy's jungler out.
Dragon,
It looks like, it looked like HLE were going to Baron there for a second. But
the second half is going to be coaches saying, guys,
I think you need your jungler there for the Baron at 20 minutes. This might.
Be in some trouble here. Oh, he gets tagged.
yeah, he does get tagged. He doesn't have flash, so he's just
Maybe there was some type of bait there was going on, and then HLE caught them out. That's what it was looking like, because
and that
it looked like they were pretending they were going to the Baron pit.
Sports fans.
I'm not going to rewind it.
Humble Life Esports. I want you to look at everyone's score and then Viper. To be fair, I don't think the Lights made any major mistakes this game, but
Okay, so Viper delayed are getting the Scuttle Crab here on the Baron, and Peanut's got the Scryer Bloom now. Viper's down bottom.
Another win.
it's just such a good lesson into why a League of Legends game isn't won. This is a solo queue lesson for all of them.
Viper.
Feel like Cuz.
Zeka,
It's
not Viper, Zeka is what I was getting ready to say. But he's recalling now. He's got his second item.
He
Essence
gets
Reaver.
The classic zero buff start. No red, no
So HLE look like they're ready to go for the Baron, and KDF's a little bit behind, so they're not going to be very confident at fighting or taking the Baron right now. You're going to have to do something to catch the KDF, or catch one of the HLE players out somewhere.
Passive auto off, but not the case. And then here, nicely done there by Viper and the Light, just using the power of Brom. Light finds Doran, has found Dudu, or the other way around.
Yeah, dude is pretty tanky at this point, as you mentioned. Actually, even went and picked up a Bramble vest.
I mean, Thornmail is great here.
Yeah, and I think eventually he will finish that item. Zeka, you know, after the pretty good laning phase, hasn't had much effect on this game, especially after we saw some whoopsies, is the nicest way to say it.
So just waiting on this Baron fight, really, and Dudu's pushing the bottom wave, but he's recalling.
Immediately a pull off, as they say, hey, we were spotted. Not gonna
Zeka's
go.
pushing the top lane.
Interesting. I thought that they at least, I don't think you ever actually want to do it, but like stick around until you get the TP from Dudu. But the Kwangdong composition is really good at having these long extended chases. As yeah, no one should be surprised by this. It is indeed Viper Life Esports.
Yep,
In the flash,
it's back.
it is back.
And
I
it
love
never
that they highlight it. Oh, and Humble Life might still end up.
Next guy was 4,000 damage behind what Viper's done.
And now I think Kwangdong need to be very careful not to get, you know, ahead of themselves. But this is still, I think, a really important moment for Kwangdong, and I really want to highlight it. If they would have gone down mercilessly 2-0 to Humble Life, we've seen this team have a lot of mid-season collapses.
Yeah.
And I think this is, even this, if they don't end up winning, I think this is important for this team. If they want to continue being at the very least, you know, a dark horse where you can be the cool hipster and be like, you know what, if they get it together in playoffs, it could happen.
Okay, so KDF get the Scuttle Crab here for the Baron.
Dark horse. It shouldn't make sense. Just enough.
They're not the favorites to win by any means in the playoffs. But
Not too much going on right now, so letting the stalemate or the ping pong session go back and forth right now.
in this game, we'll see how this one is going to play out.
Yeah, that's... They don't have a lot of point-and-click CC.
Important stuff, the Bramble vest here that
Slam into a wall.
Dudu might have needed earlier for Renekton to cut down the healing, and Maokai has some healing.
Leaper is quite strong. Cuz is gonna have
Brand's on his
available also.
Seeker's Arm Guard,
Love to see it.
Yeah.
plus his 2 items.
Should have hit, yeah. With this, I think Hazid is.
Now he is a good bit ahead of Maokai here. Maokai is only on 1 item right now,
So
but
it's actually quite strong, even though he struggled.
about to get his second
This
one.
is a big spike, I think, for the Corki at this point in time. So I think
see
things are looking
Viper
up for
just picked up a
Corki.
Brutalizer, and he's got his Man Immune and Trinity Force.
Infernal Soul Point would be big.
Both supports got their Warmogs and their support item.
Again?
Yeah, I mean,
Again?
they're setting up the
And
same
Delight's on his Mercury
He
treads.
will dodge a lot of the brand damage, and Andel slowed up a bit. At least Andel does have his flash this time, so. But he does get out alive.
So
The
the
only issue
next
is that
dragon's
those
up in
online
10
force know how to
seconds.
Move in and clear out the vision and actually stake their claim over the river.
Dudu, nice ward there. Look at that, middle of the lane. They got to be careful of the poke though.
Yeah, that they
don't know.
The flank is coming in, and Viper, he's going to get engaged on a huge knockup comes in, but look at the Renekton in the backline door, and it's huge. Does get the 1 kill, and now the peel comes in for Viper. Dudu very, very low, and he should
I think some of that's the itemization there. Like minus Brand has some good damage.
Yes, they killed the Renekton, but that was about it. And he should be going. Does get the 1 huge knockup comes in, but look at the.
Okay. Look at what's up here. Teleport down. Dudu's teleport. Andel's flash is down. Delight's heal is down. Viper's ult is down. Okay, Dudu's seen Peanut make some really good Poppy ultimates. So trying to see who should he Poppy ult. Should it be Peanut? Should it be Dorn? Should it be Viper?
No! The flank is coming in, and Viper, he's going to get engaged on a huge knockup comes in, but look at the Renekton in the backline.
First down Andel and then Dudu. Zekin nearly almost gets his whole ultimate off on Leaper.
For Humble Life Esports and Bulldog and Leaper. Yes, they killed the Renekton, but that was about it.
So what I'm trying to look at is was this even smart of KDF what they were trying to do?
Look at that, middle of the lane. They got to be careful of the poke though.
Yeah, that
They don't know.
The flank is coming in, and Viper, he's going to get engaged on a huge knockup comes in, but look
I
at
just
the
don't think
Renekton in the
KDF,
backline is huge. Does get the 1
I mean they were like 1k gold ahead, stats say.
For Humble Life Esports and Bulldog and Leaper. Yes, they killed the Renekton, but that was about it. As yep, you got Braum as well, and Viper survives. The flank does not work, and now he's 5-0.
Oh, this is exactly.
So I guess KDF just got outplayed there.
Kill Viper, but they do.
So KDF's or HLE's gonna get the Baron.
Legitimately without bolts, which with the backs could be enough. Like that'll be something to hold on to this game.
Maybe. Peanut
Maybe
is
get it.
here, and he's.
Is KDF trying to rush the dragon here?
They lose the
It went
fight.
from a replay to a live
Baron.
dragon
That's
fight.
gonna lose the dragon as well. Maybe they can get an angle here, which with the backs could be enough. Like that'll be something to hold on to this game.
Maybe. Peanut
Maybe
is
get it.
here, and he's right.
So I'm assuming that HLE got the Baron buff, so then they all recall to reheal and get whatever gold they just got off the map, and get some better itemization. So then in that time, KDF come down here and force this dragon.
Top of the dragon now.
Walks in.
And yeah, he's just going to smite it. There it is. Q smite. Now Doran might have to eat it, but he is Renekton, and he is very fed. As we do have the Keeper's Verdict there on Azeka, and now Homalife Esports will be forced to back away. But Leaper nearly dies just to a little bit of poke. Has to back over the wall. And now Homalife Esports, they're getting everything. Just the entire map is theirs.
And I can't believe, fellas, if Humble Life end up getting this win, I'm not going to be...
So I don't really know.
Nearly died. Keeper's Verdict there. Now Doran might have for the dragon.
Taking one more look.
Peanut is
I'm guessing KDF just go over here and try to force this dragon. Because then you'd have one more soul. Maybe HLE should have just went down to dragon and then recall afterwards. But regardless, they come down here and it looks like they turn this dragon away from KDF. I'm just saying, is there anything that KDF could have done in this team fight? Because just... Dorn's teleport is down. Dudu's teleport is down. Bulldog's teleport. So Zeka has his teleport. Okay, there's one thing there. So Zeka has his teleport. He's teleporting into the mid lane there. This is a 4 versus 5 for HLE.
here, and he's right on top of the dragon now.
Walks in.
And yeah, he's just
They steal the dragon.
now Doran might have to eat it, but he is Renekton.
Doran tanks up a lot of damage.
We do have the Keeper's Verdict there on Azeka, and now Homalife Esports will be forced to back away. But Leaper nearly dies just to a little bit of poke. Has to back over the wall. And now Homalife Esports, they're getting everything. Just the entire map is theirs.
And I can't believe, fellas, if Humble Life end up getting this win, I'm not going to be allowed to vote for Doran. I'm really going to want to because of these fights, but
not allowed.
we all know.
Okay, so Doran's down here pushing the bottom lane. His teleport's down. So Doran kind of needed to be at this team fight here because it was a mismatch. It was 4 versus 5.
He's irrelevant.
You kill Lucian, that's not the real AD carry. He's just a substitute at this point.
Yeah, I think this is the point.
Or
of the
well,
game where you're
I
like,
guess
man,
Dudu or
maybe we should have
Kuz
picked
was
Doran.
down. So
Maybe that would have been better.
sorry about that. Let me see.
Bandis,
We should have picked.
substitute at this point.
Yeah, I think this is the point in the game where you're like, man, maybe we should have picked Nautilus. Maybe that would have been better. And
What was I missing there?
maybe we.
A substitute at this point. Yeah, but, you know, Zeka doesn't have any kills, he doesn't have any shutdown gold, there's nothing.
See, he's irrelevant.
You kill Lucian, that's not the real AD carry. He's just a substitute at this point.
Yeah, I think this is the point in the game where you're like, man, maybe we should have picked Nautilus. Maybe that would have been better. And you know what?
So the Baron buff is Baron buff still up for a minute 20 seconds. HLE's just taking the drag or taking all of the jungle farm away.
They're not giving up though. They keep on looking. And keep on fighting. But it's so hard to lock them down. So mobile. Big thing though, and I do want to reiterate, is that this was only a
So,
dragon for Humble Life. And they're
Han will go into KDF's jungle,
as we take another look here,
take away their farm.
What he did last game ends up, you know, taking a good amount of damage. But that's the one thing that I do think you can always trust is if that Poppy can find a good ultimate at any point, might be playable. As Dudu tries to go for Viper there, doesn't end up working out. As we do have again the Blast Cone.
Yeah, this one.
Baron up for 20 more seconds. I don't know why they're fighting around Baron Pit or Baron Pit. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
He tries to make it work, and he nearly dies to the True Shot Barrage. And Viper, he's not done. He's gonna take him down at an insane angle. And Dudu, you can't get away from him. As now they're looking for more. The engaged Braum also coming up. This Bulldog is Corky, so easily gets away from that one. But man, I guess CV Max didn't get the memo. And Viper.
Zeka
He doesn't care what his team does. He'll just put the game
pushing in the top lane. 700 gold there.
Yep, that's a Korean answer right there. Veldis, we
His
are
flash
very
is down.
As Viper, unbothered, unburdened, just eating forward to his heart's content.
It's looking like HLE are going to close this game out, so that's...
Oh no! And Zeka's like, ooh, maybe I get to play the game a little bit. Perhaps a kill for me? Nope, not gonna happen. 8-0 is Viper. And yeah, Zeka got the turret aggro. So
Oh,
did
the
have to
TP.
back away. TP.
The deep
Okay,
flank.
Dudu's going to teleport flank behind
Team is
them.
going the opposite way.
Well, maybe they can still get him.
I don't
Right?
think they win this fight. They don't have Zerial.
No, I think you have to keep. Yeah, no, Bulldog doesn't have TP. If Bulldog had TP, maybe it was playable, but it's not, and that's a TP invested. Nothing to come out of it. Humble Life, they didn't get the actual kill, so that's on the inhib, so that's nice. But I think Dudu looking for this play, understandable, but definitely oversteps. Look at this E.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's the safety of the rest of his team as well, right? Peanut
Bulldog gets really caught up
so high priority. Viper
in the Braum ult and the Maokai ult.
run into the
Maokai Braum.
Bulldog didn't get to do anything in that fight.
It's really one of those occasions where you have the perfect setup for an AD carry to go absolutely insane.
So this is where you want to be. 3 items now, 10 minutes.
Yep.
As
100 CS at 10 minutes, 200 CS at 20 minutes, 300 CS at 30 minutes, and so on. Now, Viper's getting pretty fed here that he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 items. Lucian's on 3 items.
Really great at playing both sides of that line is Jackie.
3.5.
Really, recently,
Doran's on 4 items.
Yeah.
And then
sometimes
I thought you were just gonna go for aiming. That's the
Leaper's on 1, 2, 3 items, so like 3.5.
In that comparison, Viper is just doing insane damage, and they don't have any lockdown for him. They don't have any hard engage. They have, well, they do have Leona.
maybe to poke. Maybe Cuz can get an ult up.
So the dragon's up in 10 seconds.
Yeah.
But Viper is just out poking everyone.
Now, I like this wraparound from Kwangdong. Really trying to force Hamalife Esports into one corner of the river. But Delight's doing a good job clearing vision, coming back here, covering the flank. Viper, they're not going to hit that one.
I mean, Kwangdong are playing this well, but they just don't have the time.
They don't have the time. Cuz has to get into the pit. Dudu looking to get the knockaway, and Peanut goes flying, but now the fight is taken here by Hamalife Esports.
They knocked,
way ahead of his team.
they knocked Peanut out of that fight.
So tanky, they can't burn
Who
the Renekton.
steals a lot of dragons and barons.
Hamalife Esports cleaned them up in the river. They said, we didn't even want that dragon. We'll take it anyway. Hamalife Esports ace Kwangdong.
So now it's almost 10,000 gold ahead, Hanwall are. I would say that's the game. Let me look. I know that Bulldog, sorry I didn't talk so much. There's like so much fighting going on around the map, and then you can't really figure out what triggered it, or... So then it's like, what do I share with my audience? Now you do have 2 press the attack champions here, and the 2 fleet footwork champions. So I guess they kind of counter each other, but these aren't going to be good in team fights as much, are they? As straight up team fights like this. Like, it's going to be okay in the laning phase, but later on, I don't know what they run on Zeri. It's fleet footwork, isn't it? So I'm just saying that has some to do with positioning and the fighting and poking around. The fleet footworks compared to the press the attacks, which, like, Ezreal's a poke champion, so it takes a while to get his damage out. So, but I'm just like team fight matchup wise, like straight up dominant team fight. I'm guessing the Corki and the Zeri with the fleet footwork might not take as much, might not be very efficient compared to like what the press of the attack does. Now in the laning phase works great. So Delight's heal and flash is down, and Viper's flash is down, and Zeka's flash is down. Zeka's teleport is down, and Zeka's ult is down. Peanut's flash is down. Peanut's ult is down. Doran's ult is down. Doran's flash is down. Bulldog's flash is down. Leaper's cleanse is down. Zeri's ult is down. Brand. Trying to just look at this last team fight again, because the game's over after this.
They don't have the time. Clearing vision, coming back here, covering the flank. Viper, they're not going to hit that one.
I mean, Kwangdong are playing this well, but they just don't have the time.
They don't have the time. Cuz has to get into the pit. Dudu looking to get...
Okay, so Dudu knocks Maokai out, but Peanut already got his ult off before that, so that was pretty good on Peanut's part, knowing, I'm sure, when he was going to get Poppy ulted, because he's, I guess Peanut's the best Poppy we see. I don't really see anyone else play Poppy. Again, there's a VOD review I just did of, it was HLE into T1, where Peanut made some really good Poppy ultimates that knocked Faker out, prevented some team fights. Prevented from losing some team fights. So Dudu, could he do anything to flash out of this?
Fight is taken here by Homolife Esports. Hondo is way ahead of his team. As now Doran going to that backline, he is just so tanky.
Bulldog doesn't even have really the range to get in on any damage on Doran or the rest of HLE. Didn't do very much to Doran there.
And that is going to do it for this game. Homolife Esports cleaned them up in the river. They said, we didn't even want that dragon. We'll take it anyway. Homolife Esports ace Kwangdong in the bottom river. Another triple kill here for Viper.
So the Corkis look kind of useless into the Maokai and the Braum, the Renekton.
Will pick up his 3,000 assist here at the LCK. Huge congrats to him. And we'll definitely be seeing a lot more where that came from.
And then Riot just nerfed Corki, so maybe Corki's on his way out.
Doran with some great impactful team fights, but we all know
I think a lot of, or not a lot of, some of the reason of the Corki is he's aggressively safe in mid lane, but the Q gives a lot of extra vision, so that's maybe why we see him so much. He just allows so much vision in the brushes with the Q. So that'll do it today, guys, for the Sodaron stream. This is match 42 of LCK Summer 2024. Again, I appreciate you for watching. Thank you. If you like my content, please follow me at twitch.tv/Sodaron and follow and tell your friends if you like. That'll help grow my channel and give you better content. Maybe you like me, but you'd like to see me play other games or do other things besides the LCK VOD reviews. Well, like and follow my channels. We could maybe play Nintendo games, or there's other video games we can play. We don't have to just do League of Legends all the time. So there's some reasoning why I'm doing this right now, so just bear with me. I appreciate everybody's help and following me and your loyalness, so I will see you next time for whatever. Shoot, I guess I should look at the schedule here.
of a T1 and Gen G finals. Again, for the umpteenth time. On the life.
He played.
Where is the in-game stats? There we go. So how do I do this again? Like that. Why do you want to do that, Epic
Very
Pen?
strong in the quirky, he'd get advantages again. He did in game. He didn't have the
Epic
greatest
Pen
mid
wants
game. He
to
wasn't
keep the
any
toolbar
characteristic
up all the
caster set,
time,
but
which I know a lot of people will probably get annoyed by. Oh well, there's a lot of things that annoy me all the time. It doesn't keep me from giving up. I've had a lot of annoying things happen in this VOD today, and I didn't let it get to me. I think I may even went on a 15-minute rant about what I was doing in 2022, and I might have had the button muted for all I know. I don't remember. So that's it for today's games. And, oh, yeah, right. I was going to look at the scheduling here. Fox versus T1. So I don't know. May not even do a VOD today. I may need a day off. I don't. I'm not trying to do bangers only, but most people, unfortunately, somebody doing bangers only. Oh, okay, there's T1 and Genji. I don't know. I may even take today off. That these aren't that important of games, but maybe I'll just bang through both of them at the same time. It just sometimes I blow with the wind here on the Sodaron channel. So I was planning on being here tomorrow or another 24 hours from now, so to do another VOD review, but maybe I'll take the day off and work on my channel or other things. I'm a busy worker. I'm always working to grow and help get this channel going. So if I don't put out a VOD, I'm probably working on editing some of the stuff. So I may need a day for that, but I would like to put out Fox versus T1 or Nongshim versus Genji or all of it. So maybe tomorrow, whenever, I can try to do both of these. But these aren't really banger matches here of Fox versus T1 or Nongshim versus Genji. But I would think that most LCK fans would like to see both games here, the T1 and the Genji match. So who knows? So I will see you next time, Sodaron stream. Thank you for tuning in.